Welcome back to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Beekler. I am live in San Francisco, California, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com. And this is the Nerdrotic Nooner for Monday. Welcome to the week, everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope everybody is doing wonderful, either at work or hanging out at home or watching live streams, whatever you're doing. I hope you're having fun because that's why we do this, right? Life is for playing. Well, we try to play as much as we can. So as people roll in, I'll talk a little bit about what's in the title. And one very important thing I couldn't fit into the title, but I wish I could have. I could always change it later, I guess. So every month, I like to remind CBS and the world that there is still a lawsuit going on with Star Trek Discovery and Anas Abdeen. So I'm going to basically go over nothing new has come out of it. I know nothing additional to what we have learned before. I just like to, give it a bump, remind everybody because nobody's talking about this. I think one or two outlets has written about it, and that's about it. So I'm going to do that in a little bit. An Orville trailer dropped. Now I'm not going to show the trailer and show my reaction because hey, bless any other channel that wants to do that. I just think it's the cheesiest thing ever, and I just can't do it. Plus, I would show no emotion. I would just go, "Oh, that's cool. Why not?" But we'll talk about the Orville because it's a wonderful show, and the trailer was cool. I didn't see a ton of differences between the original one we saw and this one. I don't know if there even was, but it was just nice to see it. And we also have some really bad news about the Twilight Zone. Now, maybe this news was out there and I just didn't catch it, but I have absolute confirmation of something that's like deeply disturbing. And it looks like CBS is going to Star Trek Discovery the Twilight Zone, which bums me out to no end because I've liked all versions of the Twilight Zone that have come out. Of course, the main one is my favorite show of all time. It is the best written show of all time. Rod Serling is the best TV writer of all time. He is a TV writing god. A show I got into when I was very, very young, used to scare the shit out of me, but I loved it. Also, the news that was not in the title is Farscape news. Yes, there is Farscape news. It's not earth shattering, but the fact that just Farscape is being talked about by the creators is good news. Now, depending on what they do with it. Now, that's something, of course, I will get into later. I'm waiting for people to roll in. Hello, Truth Apocalypse and Viking Bitch. Keith C. Ian Bachelor. See, I did it, Ian. I said your name right. PJ's channel. What's up, PJ's channel? Cordell Fenival. Hello. Matthew Matson. Hail, Matthew Matson. Truth Apocalypse was the first one in here. I hope you finished your lunch, Truth Apocalypse. I hope it was tasty. I hope it was tasty. I hope I don't make you throw up your lunch with the Twilight Zone news I'm about to give you. What's going on with the Twilight Zone, dog? Oh, well, do you guys want to start with that one? And then we'll do the Anas Abdeen bump. I shared this with a couple of my moderators last night. There is another article that I'm actually going to do. I was going to include in this, but it deserves a separate video because it is just unbelievable what was written and frightening. I'll give you a hint on that. Think of the PMRC for film. Now, yes, we have a rating system. Of course, we have a rating system. But I saw something written yesterday that leads me to believe that the new Puritans that have risen up are gonna. Oh man, it's terrible, but that it deserves a separate video because I want to make this mostly positive, and that video will get you down. All right, so while I get to this one again, they might have said this about the Twilight Zone in the past, and I completely missed it, but that doesn't change my reaction at all. So let's share this right here. We got some casting confirmation. The Twilight Zone adds Adam Scott for Nightmare at 30,000 Feet episode. What the fuck? Okay. So one of the best original Twilight Zone episodes, which was one of the best segments in the Twilight Zone movie, probably some of George Miller's best work, with Jerry Goldsmith's fantastic soundtrack. John Lithgow, I mean, equaling William Shatner's role in the original. I wasn't a big fan of the Twilight Zone movie reimagining episodes. I thought that was weak. And I was 13 when that came out. So I was just like that when I was 13. But it says here, Adam Scott has joined the ensemble cast of CBS All Access's revival of the Twilight Zone. It's not a revival, folks. It's a reimagining of original episodes. The Ghosted and Parks and Recreation alum will appear in Nightmare at 30,000 Feet episode, best remembered in the original series for William Shatner's frantic encounter with an airborne gremlin that he could only see. CBS All Access previously announced that Jordan Peele will host and narrate the series, and Sana Lathan will star in the episode Rewind. So maybe they're doing some new episodes and they're going to reimagine some others, or are they going to reimagine all episodes? I haven't gotten an answer to this. The fact that they're reimagining any episodes is just absolute proof that Hollywood is not out of ideas. They just don't give a fuck. What the hell? Leave the Twilight Zone alone. Okay. For one, you're kind of late to the party on this. Black Mirror has beat you. We have Philip K. Dick's Electric Dreams out there. There's so many anthology shows now. Shit, Bobcat Goldthwait has one. And now you're going to come out this and just reimagine your own. Is there a shortage of weird stories you can come? I don't think so. I think in the 50 years we've had the Twilight Zone, you can mix in some cool new weird stories that would fit well in the Twilight Zone if you have some talented people. Now, I don't want to come down too hard on Jordan Peele, but that is a sacred episode. The Twilight Zone is sacred, and again, I was against it in the movie, so to do it now is ridiculous, especially with that episode. So yeah, here we got the three actors who were portrayed in that episode. And which one does not belong? William Shatner, John Lithgow, and Adam Scott. Yeah. So that's what got me riled up. Just to get go, and I'm actually having a great day. I'm gonna let it go once I've worked through my resentment over this. But holy shit! So again. Maybe I'm the last one to know that they were going to reimagine episodes. It still doesn't piss me off any less. There are so many great short stories out there that you can, there's short story novellas up the yin yang that would fit in Twilight Zone. Just adapt some stories that haven't been adapted on television before. If you've really truly run out of ideas, but CBS All Access, their MO is just let's just either allegedly steal stuff or just reimagine everything or pay homage. But as long as it's not 100% homage, it's at least 75% homage. Yeah, so that is really insane and a bummer. And I wish they wouldn't do that. And I was excited about this, and we're still going to cover it here. But I don't see how you can improve on that episode. There's so many other things you can do in plain flight. You can do all kinds of weird stuff. Sorry, my phone's going off right now. Yeah, Twilight Zone about PC gone mad. That would be a best Twilight Zone ever. That would be would be brave in Hollywood to do one, an anti-PC. Maybe Seth MacFarlane can do another kind of anti-PC something on the Orville. That would be fun. CBS stupidity. Thank you, Jay Weeks. Yes. Oh, we've got all kinds of crazy CBS news. I've kind of held back. We've had an endless stream of just lame stuff coming out of Star Trek. I just don't, but it's a bunch of little stuff. And, I think we've established that Star Trek Discovery is pretty annoying. And dumb. I mean, it's kind of beating a dead horse, but yeah, the whole thing about talking about bringing back the classic costumes, and it's like they don't look anything like the classic costumes. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Um, and then, I'll wait a little bit. I'm going to talk to the chat, and then we will talk about we could because I can lead that into just reminding y'all about the lawsuit that Anas Abdin has against Star Trek Discovery. Which there are a lot of similarities in there. And, this is the one thing I don't get a ton of blowback on. Well, for one, I don't spend a ton of time on Twitter, but in our comments and stuff, it's the one thing I get the most blowback on is every time I bring up the lawsuit, people are so damned loyal to brands, just like blindly loyal to brands, and don't even want to think open-minded with this lawsuit. Now, is it a slam dunk? No, the copyright law is crazy. And it's a hard thing to prove. And the reason being is the people who generally hold the copyrights are the ones with all the money, so they can control the laws and fiddle with them as much as they can, Disney, and allegedly. And that's why it always seems to favor, well, as all things, the people with the most money. So, poor Anas Abdin is just a guy who created a video game for Steam. I have not met him personally, just brief interactions on Twitter. Seems like a very nice guy. In his story, he was just doing this video game and taking care of his parents. And really, it was when Star Trek Discovery came out that a bunch of people started pinging him saying, hey, this game, this Star Trek looks a lot like your game. And he wasn't even watching Star Trek at the time. He was he's a sci-fi fan, but he wasn't watching Star Trek. He was doing his thing, making the game. Then when he finally went in and watched, at first he was like, okay, whatever. And then as time went on, he went, holy shit. And yeah, it's I mean, nobody's going to come out and admit it, but if we all just put the bullshit aside, somebody either, subconsciously saw it and inserted it in their script, or was on a deadline and needed to come up with something in a writing room and saw this somewhere on a website or came across it on Steam and didn't think anything would come of it because it's just this little game and nobody would notice, maybe forgetting there's this thing called the internet and everybody notices everything. So, yeah. And the only people that have written about it are the Metro, which was an old article, and I did a video on it and stuff. But and just to show you, I'm not going to read you the article. Is you can see they just point out some of the similarities. Now, Anas Abdin, as far as I know, has not come out and asked for any money from us, from like crowdfunding or anything, which people have offered to do, and I think they still would if he needed it for legal fees. Apparently he was approached by a lot of lawyers, which is good because I think there is a case here and you can see some of the similarities. The other one is on the bottom left-hand corner right here. This yellow suit that Burnham does wear when she's a prisoner for a while. That one looks similar. Stamets, of course, the blue tardigrade. And apparently that tardigrade is now made it into the video game, but they changed the color, which I think almost is an admission of guilt. There's Stamets, there's the tardigrade, there's the tardigrade. Now the tardigrade helps you travel in the video game and involving Stamets. That coincidence is astronomical odds on that coincidence. So again, just a reminder to our friend Anas Abdin, show him some support, show him some love. He's, it's David versus Goliath. He's taking on CBS. If he wins, I don't know. I hope he does. I hope he gets a settlement at least and is happy, and maybe we don't hear about it again. And as long as he's happy, I'm cool. Of course, I want, I have, motivations. I am an honest person. I want to hurt Star Trek Discovery. I do. But just hearing about there's a great interview with Doomcock. If you check out Doomcock's channel, he has an interview, and you hear about the human behind this, the human being, and the inhuman lawyers from CBS whose deal to him was basically, we'll promise to stop using the tardigrade. If you go away, we promise to stop using the tardigrade and we won't sue you. I think they said, I think mid-sentence they were sharpening their teeth during that part. So yeah, intellectual property law is murky, it's evil, and it's the entertainment industry. And the entertainment industry, well, we all know what it's like. They do a lot of projection. I mean, it's a bad, for lack of a better term, it's filled with projection. I'm not talking about projectors. I mean, people spouting out moral ideas and moral thoughts in the least moral place on the planet, maybe, at least in our country, I would say. The last people who should be telling us how to live and what to do, bunch of rich people, which is great. I don't mind that they're rich. They could be rich. That's fine. No problem with that. Just remember that, you have a special talent that not many people have, but it doesn't make you a god. It doesn't make you smarter than anybody or particularly smart on certain issues. It means you pretend really well, which is great. Again, it's a talent. Acting is a talent I respect. Writing is the talent I probably respect the most. It's the hardest to do that, and illustrating comics. So yeah, leave Anas Abdeen alone. Acknowledge that something was done, at least to him. You don't have to acknowledge publicly whatever he wants. I don't think he's asking for the world. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to stop Star Trek Discovery from happening. But in the end, CBS All Access might have wished that he would have won the lawsuit and it stopped the show. Just saying. Okay, so that's our reminder. That is our, I will be back in a month to remind you, and I'll probably remind everybody every show. We are recapping every episode of Star Trek Discovery and the short treks. Next one is in a couple weeks. Again, it's on an empty ship. That's weird. Okay. Yeah. So, and then we'll chat a little bit, and then we're going to get to some very good news if you're a scaper. I don't know if I'm a scaper yet. So yes, Matthew Matson, we have Farscape news. I'm sorry. Did everybody see the Orville trailer this morning? Again, I don't know if there's anything new there, but it's good. It's good. It's got a symphonic version of All Right Now. Yeah. It looks like it's the trailer goes heavy into kind of the inspirational positive tone. So I think that was really kind of a shot. If you watch that trailer, I see it as kind of taking a shot at Star Trek Discovery because it's really inspirational and hopeful and positive. And yeah, I think they turned it up to like 12 in the trailer, which I love, which I think is kind of take that Star Trek Discovery. And I think an open war between those two shows would be nothing but entertaining. I saw Ian Batchelor says, I saw Goldsmith perform the Twilight Zone score. You did not. Oh, so jealous. Live at the Barbican Center, London, back in 1989. It was amazing. Oh, you got to see Jerry Goldsmith. Oh my God. One of the only guys I'll say is better than John Williams, Jerry Goldsmith. God damn, Jerry Goldsmith is amazing. Was amazing. And the Twilight Zone soundtrack is amazing. I have that on a vinyl. There is no imagination left. Just fucking do something else. I have a bookshelf full of these ideas. Balls. Says Viking bitch. She's so eloquent. PJ Channel said, I hope they just redo the classic episodes. Oh God, that's probably what they're gonna do. And no, why? Just do new episodes. There's so many good writers in Hollywood. I know the talent pool right now is like really diluted, but there is still very good writers. Adapt something. Adapt something. A lot of the original short stories from what Nightmare at 30,000 feet is a Richard Matheson story. So he's like the he's equal to Rod Serling as a great writer. You know, I Am Legend, Richard Matheson. There's tons of short stories out there by him that haven't been adapted. I'm sure. Truth Apocalypse says, I have unlimited ideas that haven't been done yet on TV and movies. Sigh. Exactly. I bet you this chat is filled with talented writers who could write a Twilight Zone episode. It's a 25 page script. If they're going to be, I mean, I don't know if they're going to be a half hour or an hour. Twilight Zone plays much better um, as a half hour, I think, but we'll see. They'll probably be an hour. But PJ's channel that PC Gone Mad Twilight Zone episode. Maybe you should write that. Excuse me. The hunky chunky funky monkey. Same old crap from the writers of today. No ideas with their of their own, so they copy what came before and claim it is theirs. Exactly. They use that reimagine word, and what they reimagine is they put like WTF in and a cell phone and yeah. And that's their reimagining. At least you get to go home for lunch. I dislike being in the car all day. Hell no. I used to be a delivery. What's up, Morks? Yes, it's the Nooner. I used to be a delivery driver. I actually liked it. Oh my God, I love that job. Because the only real work you did was when you got to your stop and you unloaded your stuff, had somebody sign a piece of paper. Most of your day is in the car. And if you like driving, it's cool. Now, driving in SoCal can be a little frustrating for some, but if you grow up there, you're kind of used to it. You just turn on some talk radio and you get really good at your route. So you can stop off at Toys R Us's in between to go collect action figures. And and still get your job done. Still get your job done. It was a fun job. And maybe that's why I'm here doing the Nerdrotic Nooner, because I got into well, I was listening to a lot of sports talk radio back then. I was really into the sports ball back in the 90s. Well, actually, all my life. It's only recently that I've kind of dumped the sports ball. And you guys know the reasons why. Nobody cares. Orville, when is it coming back? Asks Sebastian Simonson. December 30th, I believe, at 8 p.m. Pacific time. Our recap will be 15 minutes after it airs. But those are one of those recaps where, like, remember that part? That was good. I like that part too. That was funny. That's why we didn't want to recap it at first. And it was like one of the biggest mistakes of the channel, not recapping every episode of Orville. So I can't apologize for that enough. But I really wasn't sure how to go about it because I thought it was just going to be a dumb comedy. And honestly, I didn't like the first episode very much, but I had weird expectations. Went back and watched it again. The only bummer is there's like no Blu-ray on this. They're coming out with a DVD now. Maybe they've changed that since the last time I looked, but I want to own it. Don't you want to own it? Where is it? Is it on Hulu or something? Is it streaming on Hulu? I haven't just checked lately. The only concern I have for the Orville, and it's like, this is minuscule, but actually Doomcock brought up this point too. And if you go look, I'll put the link in the description. I have the Comic-Con Orville panel there, and everything sounds good, except it looks like they're going to lean a little more into the serious, which I thought it was serious enough. I thought the balance was perfect. And was it the YouTuber Egotastic Fun Time, which he's funny as hell, was talking about what's her name is not going to be in the show anymore. At first I thought it was kind of a gag video. I didn't understand Egotastic Fun Time stuff, but I started, which is still pretty funny. But yeah, losing a cast member, I fear the sophomore slump, but I doubt it. Seth MacFarlane is like a TV fucking pro, and the Orville is what won me over. I was not a Family Guy guy, for lack of a better term, or anything like that, but Uh, I like the fact that he took shots at Harvey Weinstein at the Academy Awards, and yeah. Did I say I don't like John Lithgow? Fatal Shore. I did not mean to make it sound like that at all. I love John Lithgow. I loved his portrayal in the Twilight Zone Nightmare 20,000 Feet in the movie. A World According to Garp, he was amazing. No, I love John Lithgow. Third Rock from the Sun is one of the few 30-minute sitcoms I could stomach. I just don't like those and Married with Children is the best. Star Derp. Star Derp. Yeah, Captain Robert April is correct. CBS owns the Twilight Zone outright, so there shouldn't be a need to change a damn thing, which is probably why they feel comfortable just remaking episodes. Yeah, I'm sure they could feel plenty comfortable about it, and it sucks that they need to do that because I think they could come out with Jordan Peele, by all accounts, is a pretty talented guy. I think there's enough talented people who can write enough weird episodes with a modern flair using technology. But the problem is Black Mirror got there first, but that shouldn't matter. That shouldn't keep them from doing their own thing. Because if you have any brain, you realize Black Mirror is just the Twilight Zone. So, and I love anthology shows like that. I'm a huge fan of that. Your PJ's channel, you are correct. John Lithgow in season 4 of Dexter was amazing. Thank you, Viking Bitch. The reason the channel is the best is because we are open-minded. We really try to stay that way. Not on everything. I wish I was on everything, but I am not a Zen master. But we give it a chance. We try to be fair. Sometimes I'm not. I mean, like with Krypton, I was fair. I feel like I was fair. Now people might not see it that way, but I felt like I was fair. But man, that turned into a shit show quick. And with the reason we stopped Manifest is I didn't want to because I realized like we don't usually do network shows here. So a lot of people were watching it and a lot of people were liking it. And it's not like it was like horrifically bad. It's just super basic average. And I just didn't, we're gonna do the finale. We're gonna come back and do the finale. The same with Gifted. But there's some shows that I'll admit it's fun to kind of give them shit and crap on, like Star Trek Discovery. But most of the time, if we're covering a show we don't like it, we just stop. Because the philosophy on that is most people don't hate watch stuff. I think half the Star Trek Discovery audience is hate watch. I could be wrong on that one, but that's what I think it is. With like Manifest, it's the people watching are actual fans of the show. Rewatching Mr. Robot, it's good the second time too. Oh, Truth Apocalypse, it's so good the second time. I got so much more out of it. Legion is a good show for that too. Truth Apocalypse. Oh my god, it's gonna be crazy for us in January. It's like a really slow time for us now. We're only covering a couple shows, Titans, and the regular shows, Titans and Doctor Who, and of course there's Netflix has been keeping us busy for the last 2 months. Currently watching Castlevania. Oh my god, where's that been all my life? I fucking love it. And yeah, we don't have a regular show to cover. We're gonna try a couple until December. Night Flyers is coming out, but that's on Sci-Fi, so it'll probably get canceled. It's a George R. R. Martin. It's basically about kind of like a Psycho in space, as George R. R. Martin puts it. And then one of our seal of approval shows comes back December 9th, which is Counterpart. And then in January, we're covering no less than 8 regular weekly TV shows. So, yeah. And, hopefully by then, we'll have the pop-up shot going. So I don't know how I'll find time, but I'll find time. That's why we have Dennis and Susan too. But we have like Umbrella Academy, Deadly Class, Project Blue Book, The Orville, Star Trek Discovery. Counterpart will still be going then. I know I'm missing a few. but a lot of good stuff. All right, let's get. It was in our chat, right, Viking bitch? Where was that? Farscape. I guess I could just look up my tweets. Talk amongst yourselves. There it is there. Okay. Now, I have a little addition to this that I can put on that I will really try for. Okay. I hate to make promises here I can't keep, but this is a try. This isn't a promise. But first, I'll read you the article. Brian Henson lets us know that Farscape might still return, but as a miniseries. I don't see that as a but. It sounds like it's just going to be a miniseries. That's what I would prefer. I would strongly prefer. I don't want a Farscape movie. I want a miniseries. So I've got to blow this up. That writing is really small for me. We've been hearing since 2004 that the new Farscape film could be in the works. And now creator Brian Henson has shared an update. This isn't one that should get your hopes up on something new being put into production shortly, though. The last update we heard about the movie moving forward was at the Dragon Con 2 years ago when Henson had confirmed that the film was still being looked into. He still says it is, though the idea may have evolved. Okay, I like how they put that into a miniseries. Here is what Henson shared at the 2018 Creature Chop Challenge at Dragon Con this year. The fan interest has been huge, but it's a little harder to sell. But I've been trying to make it as a movie for a long time, and everybody is tired. Okay, I'm tired of hearing me say that I really want to make a feature film of Farscape. I'm just coming off making this movie, The Happy Time Murders, and it really took all of my attention for 16 months. I'm reconsidering that, and it may be that the movie length is too short to tell the story. So that might mean I may consider doing something on TV instead, sort of exactly like what we're doing in London right now with The Dark Crystal. More on that later. With The Dark Crystal being a 10-part series that is a complete story, as many shows are doing these days, it is something that the fans could get behind. A longer story would be much more fun than just a single movie. Henson does confirm that they are still trying to make Farscape as a movie, but he isn't sure if the plot they have can be trimmed down enough to make it happen and still deliver what he'd like the audience to see. So there is potential of doing something like that with Farscape. Honestly, I'm still very enthusiastic about Farscape, and I have been trying to make it into a movie, but I'm not sure I'll be able to succeed. I don't like that last part. I'm not sure I'll be able to succeed. And before I go on, I want to say there's a shitload of Farscape fans out there. There is a built-in audience, and we're seeing stuff that is has smaller fan bases than Farscape being remade left and right. Why in the hell would you not? I think it's kind of the perfect time. And if you're going to bring something back with the original cast, it wasn't that long ago. Okay. If a movie doesn't work out, hopefully working on The Power of the Dark Crystal with Netflix could lead to a production and distribution deal for creating the idea in a more extended format. Let's be honest, more audiences would likely prefer that anyway. Most audiences would likely prefer that anyway. Are you excited to hear about Farscape? Hasn't it hit a complete dead end and still in development? Would you prefer a single movie or bring back the franchise, or would you rather see a TV show? I would rather see a TV show. Wouldn't you rather see a TV show? Oh, okay. So The Dark Crystal, they're talking about The Dark Crystal. Well, my wife, the awesome Mrs. Nerdrotic, knows somebody who is working on The Dark Crystal. And we have teased before, we're going to try to get her on the air. I have sent out an email. So once I hear something back, I will let you guys know. And it'll be one of our rare interviews here. And when that happens, I will try to, pump her for Farscape information as well. Because, Yeah, I think she would be working on that as well if she is working on the Dark Crystal. The Dark Crystal sounds amazing. Stoked that it's going to be on Netflix. I think that's I cannot wait for that. And now when you hear stuff like this, you understand why Netflix is just dumping Marvel stuff left and right. They don't need it. They don't need it. Honestly, Castlevania is, better than most of the Marvel Netflix stuff that I've seen, to be honest with you. I've seen some pretty good shows this year on Netflix. Alter Carbon, Maniac, the Apostle movie was awesome. Please check that out. And I don't think a lot of people know about it, but it's really good with Dan Stevens, Legion. And yeah, there's going to be Alter Carbon season 2 will be coming out. It'll be completely different though. But Farscape, where I would prefer to see it on Amazon, on the same network with The Expanse, I think that'd be great. But anything would be fun, and I'm sure. I don't know. How do you Farscape? How do the Scapers feel about this? Are you like let it be? It ended fine. It's still, it hasn't been screwed with. It's got some comics, but that's about it. And honestly, it's better when your favorite franchise remains kind of in that niche area. It doesn't get fucked with. It remains pure, and things like, Star Trek Discovery don't happen to it, or it gets bought by Disney and gutted, so they can just sell the ships, but they don't care about any of the original characters and inside the costume. Like if Disney could, they would probably put somebody else in a Darth Vader suit, and they probably will at some point. Yeah, and make it a mantle. Yeah. Fun scene in Third Rock from the Sun. Shatner, as the big giant head, is complaining about his flight, and the creature on the wing ripping part the engine. Lithgow chimes in, "Me too." Yes, I remember. I grew up on Third Rock from the Sun. Yeah, it wasn't so bad, man. It was good. But yeah, that's our news. We're going to get to the chat. Alter Carbon was great. Alter Carbon was amazing. Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, and Johnny Depp still do. Are you talking about Browder's age? He's not that old. Trust me. What is he? My age? He can run out there, and I still run around. It's not like I'm dying or anything. Oh man, Silhouette and Animator, $2. Did you get a chance to read my Twitter DMs? I did. Silhouette and Animator sent me some timelines for X-Men, and yeah, that was cool. I did, man. I didn't think there was that much. I think it was that linear, but somebody really took the time. And thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Now I haven't read anything beyond that, but I will check it out. And thank you, Silhouetted Animator. Sorry if I didn't get to them quick enough. It's hard for me to get back to all my messages, but I will, and I really appreciate it. Absolutely loved Alter Carbon. I wish they do some. They are going to do a second part, but it's not going to have Joel Kinnaman. Is that his name? Ben Browder was. Oh, he's older than me. Ben Browder was born in December 1962, so he's what, 53? No. He's older than that. So he's like 55. That's nothing. He's fine. I am. Yeah, I run around all the time. I just ran before I got here. See, if you keep running, you can keep running. Does that make sense? If you a body in motion is you got to keep swimming like the sharks. It's good. 56. That's nothing. 56 is the new 36. Farscape cinematic miniseries. I mean, if they could do that for the Inhumans, Kato Roan, exactly. But put it on Amazon, please, and Netflix, and let Brian Henson do what he does and get Rockney back and he doesn't get more work. I don't understand. Um, hey, I'm just getting into Farscape, guys. Like Viking Bitch was kind of, she got me and Doomcock in the Farscape kind of around the same time. And I don't know like how far Doomcock has gotten, but I'm into the second season. I'm digging the shit out of it. I'm like watching it every day now. So I don't know. It took me so long. I don't know. But thanks to this channel, I'm seeing a lot of new stuff that I wouldn't have normally taken a look at. Like I don't know why. I just like when I saw Castlevania, I'm like, it's anime. It's anime. And like I mean, I guess I knew it was kind of a video game. I'm not a gamer. And then I watched it and went, oh shit. Uh Kronos, Chiron. I will check out Lex. Lex is one everybody's telling me to check out, and there's another one too. There's another English one too that I can't remember, but I have it written down in my notes to check out. Unfortunately, it's gonna be next year. My new stuff docket is filled right now. It's filled to the rim with brim. Anime for life. Yeah, it's like I don't have anything personal against that. I love good animation. I don't know. I just need to watch more of it. I mean, the stuff I like, I've seen some. I'm not like, come on, the Captain Herlock stuff, and of course, uh, Star Blazers. I mean, it's old, but I watched that as a kid, and that was like the first cartoon that had a story arc, like an actual story arc, and that just blew my mind. I was like, whoa! And I love the ship. Um, they have to make a toy of that ship, right? Why have I never gotten a toy of that ship? I really need to do that. Blake 7, that's the one. Thanks, Philip A. Dimick. That was it. Blake 7 and Lex, and I'll probably love them. I had honestly never seen The Prisoner all the way through. I'd seen like, okay, I'll be honest with you. I saw episodes when I was in my teenage years because people told us to drop acid and watch The Prisoner, so that's what we did. And honestly, there's only a couple episodes I remember, but it's streaming on Amazon Prime right now, and it is spectacular. I love it. Otuku may never die. The Prisoner. The Prisoner is the shit. Nothing that can never be remade, ever. It is of its time. It is wonderful. It stands up today. It's wonderful 70 or late 60s, early 70s. It must be late 60s, right? Weirdness. Um, it's a fucking Beatles song in it. Come on. What's wrong with that? Nothing. Nothing. And there's actually a pretty, I'm looking over here. There's a artist edition comic. Here, let me show you. I've shown this before, but it's beautiful. That's beautiful art. That is beautiful art. It's in my big book section. I don't want to knock over the Dalek though. There we go. Okay. Yeah, Silver Spike. That is TV perfection. Perfection. One season, just fucking good. And talk about, like porn for the individualist. It's like, it's cool. I am a free man. Something like that. You are number two. Who does number two work for? Oh, I'm sorry. It's a different movie. You can't redo that weird. Yeah, that was weirdness, lightning in a bottle, and it's just beautiful. Internet is for porn and hentai. It is, Sebastian. Well, that's how it started out. I mean, for sure. I'm sure we can all tell stories about with our dial-up waiting for that picture to load. They used to show The Prisoner followed by UFO late on Friday night back in the 70s here in the UK. Brilliant. I stayed in Port Merion. Is that said Port Merion for a long weekend years back? How was it? Not silhouetted animator. I am so not a porn person either. I am like the worst. I mean, no judging. I mean, it's I'm sure it's yeah, I just no judging at all. It's just I'm not. I'm not kind of boring in that sense. Well, I don't want to get into it. I don't kiss and tell. Uh what's up, Mako? It's expensive to stay there, LOL. It is. Joseph one. Well, God, if it's in the UK, right? Like everything is fucking expensive there. I paid 17 like American dollars for a magazine because of that VAT thing you have. And that was in 2003, 4, something like that. Uh Sebastian Simonson, when is the next Exozone with Doomcock going to be? Oh, it's hard to say. It's up to Doomcock. They are not going to be scheduled. It's kind of when because his schedule's crazy, and but whenever he has a chance, maybe in the next couple weeks, I'm hoping. I've got a ton of research of new stuff that I'm going to hold off and wait. But there's been a lot of new news concerning some of the things we talk about, some latest developments. And we're going to talk a little more about the ancient civilization thing and the Denisovans. There's been some new information on the Denisovans that is very interesting. So we'll get into some of the full tilt woo woo and some of the stuff that's like pretty grounded woo woo. Uh, yeah, the moon definitely is a Nazi base, and yeah, that's kind of old news though. Everybody knows that. uh, yeah, like Lumeria and freaking Atlantis and all that stuff. But I'm waiting for the Bright Side is going to drop his third video on the Atlantis thing, and apparently he's got some new stuff involving that, so that's going to be fun. Ancient mankind stuff. I love that stuff, but that's going to be saved for the Exozone. Such a good name too. Last time I checked out, it was like 200 pounds a night. That's crazy. Well, I mean, that's like staying in San Diego. So 200 pounds is what, 300 something bucks for us over here. Uh, like if you stay at San Diego during Comic-Con at a decent hotel, it's about the same amount. Um, no, Cass, you're right. The moon is an egg of a giant dragon that lays another egg after it's cracked, because of the Doctor Who. I think the last episode of Doctor Who might have edged that out as the worst episode of Doctor Who of the modern era. Now, I somebody else said in the comments it made. Now I don't see Fear Her as the worst episode. I see it's really close, but I think Kill the Moon is the worst episode. But I think yesterday's episode was pretty bad, pretty bad. Haven't checked the ratings yet. I don't know what that. I don't know what they are in the UK, but I'm curious to see what the US ratings are. Let's go to TV series finale and see what they say. TV series finale. All right. Also, if you're curious to see what we said about Sabrina or Castlevania or what Dennis thought about Titans, we did a like a impromptu live stream. Was it Saturday? Saturday or Sunday? But yeah, it's up on the channel. Go ahead and check it out. We are going to do Castlevania season 1. The reason I'm not talking that much about Castlevania is because we're doing a separate live stream tonight at 6:30 p.m. for Castlevania. You have plenty of time to watch it. They're half-hour episodes. This season is a little longer, but oh, is it good? It's good. I actually finished it this morning. So, whoops. I hit the wrong link there. Nope, they're not up yet in the States. It'll probably be another day or two. I can't imagine it being that. Love and Monsters. Yeah, that one's bad too. Wasn't that Love and Monsters was written by a fan though, right? Wasn't that of the plot made up by they won a contest? Yeah, that was horrible. It was horrible and dark. Yeah, Love and Monsters and Fear Her came out uh like within a week of each other. They came out back to back. Um, which was generally, I mean, a good season of Doctor Who, except for those 2 episodes. And then, when we get to the Moffat episodes, it's just a bunch of stinkers after that. It's an absolute bunch of stinkers. So, and it sucked. It sucked. I love Matt Smith. I love Peter Capaldi. I've said it over and over again. Peter Capaldi's acting like really carried some of this awful writing and making Clara the center of the universe. God, you want to talk about overcorrection? Makes you wonder what Stephen Moffat did, allegedly. Uh, I will watch. I love season 1 of Castlevania. Ian Batchelor, you will freaking love season 2. It's a little bit of a slow burn at first, but dude, it's good. Uh, is this season of Castlevania an actual season and not just a movie cut up into pieces? Cormoran has a very good question. Is an actual season with 8 episodes, 8 25-minute episodes. And it all leads to one thing, and that thing resolves. But we are going to get a season 3. Castlevania episode 7 says, "Oh, sorry, I know." Oh, man. 6.4 million overnight viewers for the 4th episode of Doctor Who. So that is a tick up from last week. So it's that I imagine it will probably be probably the same here in the States, which was as far as percentages are concerned, not actual amount of people. So it'll probably be a 0.2 in the 18 to 39 demo, which is you're flirting with Capaldi territory right there. And believe me, after this week's episode, you usually see the results kind of like The Last Jedi. You see the results of an actual movie with the next episode or next movie. You see how much interest you either have or don't have. Not during, the run of The Last Jedi or yesterday's episode, Arachnids in the UK. You will see how many people you keep the next episode. So if it holds firm, that's fine. I still say that's not what they want. They want like 8 million viewers. I think that's what they want. I think they'll be happy with 6, but that's not much better than what Capaldi was doing. Right? I mean, we'll see. Honestly, it has nothing to do with Jodie Whittaker at this point. It has everything to do with Chris Chibnall and his writing. The main monster was drawn by a winner of a fan contest, but the episode was written by RTD. Ooh, RTD, buddy. Well, hey, you can't win them all, right? Thanks, Mako. That's not a good episode. Oh, I miss David Tennant, Doctor Who, so much. So does everybody. And we know we can't have him back, except we'll probably get him back in another anniversary. But I don't think anybody would complain if he came back and did like 3 or 4 seasons. Um, I want them like I know they never do it, but Paul McGann, I want him to give him a season. Give him a season. Like maybe when you're in the off season of the current Doctor, you just mix in like a mini series with the 8th Doctor, just to give him some time. Even adapt some Big Finish stuff. That's good. I mean, I don't know. I like the Big Finish stuff. I think it's good. He was probably hitting on Jenna Coleman, allegedly. You never know. You never know. Oh, speaking of the ancient mankind stuff, there's a twist in the Never Island time travel anime. They think coming in pods lets them go back in time, but it's really just history repeating after each ice age. That's interesting. That's kind of one of the theories out there. Hey, they even talk about that in Castlevania. You know, Dracula is he has ancient knowledge that has been forgotten. Um, freaking George R. R. Martin wraps that into Song of Ice and Fire, Valeria. You know, Valeria was this amazingly advanced culture, and that's where the Targaryens came from. The Targaryens were a nothing family at that time, and they had an outpost, and they were kind of looked at as just like losers. But they're the ones who survived because they had a daughter who could see the future and dreamt of the place blowing up. Dad believed her, got him the fuck out of there. Place blew up. It's there. Yeah. In that book that's coming out, all that stuff is in that book. But I'll have you know that all that's the stuff that in the Song of Ice and Fire book that's coming out, the Fire and Blood or whatever it is, the Targaryen history. It's just elaborating on a lot of stuff that's already been told within the Song of Ice and Fire or World of Ice and Fire. I'm sure it'll be a decent read, but just remember it's to placate everybody who's waiting for wins a winner. Tom Baker is the shit too, Terry B. No argument there. That absolutely saved the 50. I like the 50th anniversary. I didn't like some of the Clara stuff, but that when he popped in at the end, we were doing doing a watch party at my store, and it was like a team scored. People just whooped. It was they kept it secret, and it was cool. At least we didn't know about it. I don't know if you guys probably knew about it over there, but Captain Robert April says, I'm sure McGann will be up for it. I am too. He looks great. He looks great. I like the 1996 movie. I think it's good. And they use a lot of ideas from that too. So uh John Pertwee, Tom Baker, and Sylvester McCoy. The rest are new Who. I love John Pertwee. I do. Feisty fan just woke up. Good morning. Hello, Penn Farm Girl. Hello, Niall Brock Savage. Hello, Philip A. Demick. Silhouetted Animator, KS or X, Sebastian Simonson, Ian Batchelor, Captain Robert April, Mary Ashmead, the Lady of the Wrench, Mako, Brent Newman. I'm greeting everybody, by the way. If I Kronos Chirin, Sylvester was one of the worst of all time. I didn't hate his stuff, and especially now, I'm appreciating a lot of the old Doctor Who a lot more. A lot more. We always have old Doctor Who. I have every old episode that's still that even the animated stuff. Doctor Who's 50th anniversary is probably the best anniversary episode of any franchise. Star Trek botched it completely last time. It's shameful what CBS and Paramount didn't do for Star Trek's 50th anniversary. There should have been an episode with all the captains on a little adventure or something. They should have done like a mini TV movie, something. But no, they Star Trek Discovery, I think, was supposed to come out during the 50th anniversary, or maybe not, and that got botched and delayed, and they fumbled it from the gate. Peter Cushing did play the Doctor in the Dalek movies, yes, but that is not considered Doctor Who canon. Although Doctor Who canon is not like Star Trek canon. We've talked about that. Um, but I'm waiting for the US ratings on Doctor Who. Oh, because like it or not, we count now. I think that's actually might be one of the worst things that's ever happened to Doctor Who is like counting on the revenue stream from America because we will dip out of something. We don't have I mean, I do, but Americans generally don't have the same passion. And I have tried to get many people in the Doctor Who and the I'm sure you Whovians have heard the same thing that I have is it's too cheesy and kind of like the thing that, Farscape fans hear. I'm not really into that kind of stuff. And then, if they see an episode like last Sunday's, it's hard to argue with them. It's hard to argue with them. Oh my god! And a little preview of oh man, it's going to be tough to do this one without getting political. That's why I'm kind of trying to work it out of my head. There's an article that came out. I'll nutshell it. It says that it asks the question: is Hollywood creating extremism? And it's got a picture of the Joker doing his little clap. And I'm sure you know where they're going to go with the article. And it's just it's the same fucking argument we heard from the PMRC with fucking metal back in the 80s and music. Like, is music causing kids to, kill themselves and do drugs and do horrible acts of violence? Or video games? Video games has heard this for fucking ever. You know what doesn't get brought up though? And it is and for one, no. The answer is fuck no. It's funny that this got brought up in Deadline. You guys can, I'm not going to pop up the article, but you guys can go look it up and make your own opinion from it. It does try to present things from both sides. I'll give it that. But what it just fails to lead out is the media. I'm like, how can you say that without bringing up the media? I mean, we could at least say that they might be a little divisive, just a tad. And that is incredible. So yeah, and I'm worried about like we're going to start getting all these crazy ratings. We reported last Friday, you guys might not have heard it, that HBO basically has fuck referees now. HBO is going to have a intimacy coordinator. So during any sex scene, somebody has to pre-approve it. So basically, art is getting checked off again. I mean, this already happens to at a huge, like anytime you have a kid in a scene in Hollywood, you have to adhere to these crazy rules. Like the kid can only be on the set a certain amount of hours. There has to be a tutor there. God knows there probably needs to be a counselor there. So with the sex scenes now, we're going to have a person basically approving the sex scenes. So I don't know. They're going to have a checklist of positions. Like I don't know. It seems insane to me. It's because you have an entire crew of people and a director. Why do you need an additional person to yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird. This is the world we live in now. So I don't know how you make art when you have your hands tied. Like, it's make believe. You should be free to pretty much make what you want, and people can choose to pay for it or not. People can choose to back it or not. But once it's backed and paid for, and people have seen the story, it's like you should be able to do what you want. There's laws on the books. Believe me, there's no shortage of laws on the books in this state for all kinds of shit. All kinds of shit. Well, Silhouette and Anime, I don't want to say it out loud, but I don't think you'll be seeing stuff like that ever again. I think Game of Thrones season 5 like pissed off a lot of people, even though nothing was actually shown. It was just merely insinuated. And that's Do I have a sex coordinator? Asked Mr. Roboto. Yes, I hire one. For anytime me and Mrs. Neurotic, we have to sign our approval sheets, and in triplicate, they are sent in, sent out, buried in soft peat for 3 days, and then recycled as firelighters. Hitchhiker fans, I hope you caught that. Um, why do these coordinators sound like stunt cocks from the film Orgasmo? Dedo Recluse. Nice. Yes. Stunt cocks. Forgot about that. I forgot about Orgasmo. I love Orgasmo. Oh my God. It has the best theme song. Man, oh man, oh man. Now you're a man. Sorry. Fucking Orgasmo was funny. Oh. Yes. I have a stunt cock as well. Uh there's an app for that. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my God. I love that I get messages from Mrs. Neurotic. She knows I'm live. Oh my God, I'm live. She's funny. Funny, funny. All right. They have an app for everything. They really do. They really, really do. Oh man, Hitchhiker. We need to do a Hitchhiker show. We're way past Douglas Adams' birthday, but when it's his birthday, we will do. I will do an hours long live stream in praise of Douglas Adams, and we can read chapters of the book. And yeah, aloha, the DJD show. How you doing? How you doing? Sex scene jobs created to boost economy. More jobs or loss of jobs depending on the interpretation. Truth Apocalypse. Exactly. Exactly. Good woman, my beautiful wife. She is. She's the best. She really is. I miss the 90s, says Sebastian Simonson. The 90s were kind of fun, man. I gotta admit. I mean, I was a teenager in the 80s, so I was in my 20s in the 90s, but it was a good time. There were good times. Um, music was still pretty good, you know. Um, yeah, there was some good TV. Star Trek was still good. But there's going to be people in 20 years going, I miss the teens. What are we? Is this going? I miss the aughts and the teens. I will need an app once the store is going. Yeah, I've got all kinds of plans for the store, so I will definitely need an app. How do Jay Wiggs? How do you apply for the sex scene job position? I think it's just an application. Just go to the website. Indeed.com. Go to Indeed.com. I'm sure something's there. Grady Broyle, I miss the 90s, but you know what I say? If you remember the 90s, you weren't there. I was sober in the 90s, though. Well, the late 90s. Early 90s, I don't remember anything from 89 to 92. It's a black period in my life. Craigslist. Thank you, JD, for his voice. Craigslist. Be careful of the job you look for on Craigslist, though. Send a sex tape, Mr. Roboto says. It's exactly. Exactly. Hey, it worked for Kim Kardashian, Paris Hilton. Slept, maybe not slept through 89 and 92. Because there's a difference between sleeping and passing out and coming to. So there's going to sleep and waking up, and there's passing out and coming to. I was more in the passing out, coming to. About 40 years old, and I definitely do not remember the late 90s, says Osaro. There you go. And good on you, mate. I'm about 50. I remember some of the 80s, most of the 90s. Unfortunately, a lot of the 70s. Because I was a little pipsqueak back in the 70s. But mostly asleep. Well, I mean, there's a sleep, like asleep as in like not awake, and I didn't take the red or blue pill or whatever it is, or I get that mixed up. You take the blue pill, you get a boner. You take the red pill, you wake up or something like that. I don't know. Anyone seen the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina? Halam 899. I saw the first episode of the Woke Adventures of Sabrina, and I dipped out. Of course, my lovely and talented co-host Dennis, of course, he loved it. He thinks it's very good, but yeah, I mean, we differ. I mean, that's why he's on the podcast. We don't like sit there and have agreements on everything. He and I disagree on a lot, but I love the guy like a brother. So, I mean, that'll never change. But I also treat him like a brother too. We also give each other a lot of shit. Yeah, Sabrina was awful in every sense of the word. Quite frankly, it is like if I'd have kept watching it, I might have said it was worse than Star Trek Discovery, which is basically a singularity of suck. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. And yeah, it was just written by 14-year-olds for 14-year-olds. I know some people like the comic. I can't say anything bad about the comic, but yeah, it's not for me. We'll say that. I'll try to be nice about it. It's not for me. We reviewed 3 episodes over the weekend, or actually 4. I reviewed Doctor Who, Titans, Castlevania, and Sabrina. And I got to say, Titans was an improvement on something that still needs a lot of improving, but it was an improvement. Doctor Who was bad. Castlevania was 5 out of 5 stars. Amazing. 2 thumbs way up. 10 out of 10. Whatever you want to say about it. It's fantastic. Yeah, and Sabrina was Sabrina. So 40 ounces of ice cold gender fluid. What's up, man? Trolling meant something completely different. No, that's Alan Spark. Sorry. 40 ounces of ice cold gender fluid is, I'm sure, the new Charmed is worse. I was almost going to hate watch that. I couldn't get through 5 minutes of it. I don't know who they're making these shows for. Well, obviously not for me. So guess what? I will do them a favor and not watch. It's amazing that they make stuff now. This is not going to make sense, but they make stuff not for people. They make stuff so people will not watch. They talk about bringing everybody together. Then we're going to like make a show for a real minuscule percentage of the population. And then they go, I wonder why it didn't do better. Huh. It's because that is why you don't use social media as a metric. Social media is a horrible metric. Social media is a small percentage of the country. It's funny that comics has gone through this and made all the mistakes that television and movie are making now. DC Comics used to actually make decisions based on Twitter responses, and then they found out to their to their peril that was not even a full percentage of their audience. It was a lot of zeros. It was 0.000000001% of their audience that was upset about something on Twitter. And when they would cancel something or change something, and then the rest of the people who actually bought things would speak up, they would go, oh, whoops. Hipsters? Yeah, well, I have been accused of being a hipster. I'm not. Hipster's a relatively new term. I am a old, decrepit. I used to be a punk rocker. I used to like punk rock. I used to get in fights, and listen to music and go to fucking mosh pits and get in fights. And yeah, that was my life back then. Hipsters don't get in fights. But I do like, there's some hipster things I like. Yes. I have a beard, but it's not ironic. Um, it breaks the monotony of my face. Yeah. Truth Apocalypse, like yeah, like Jane, goddess of thunder, and then calling her Thor like it's a mantle, except it was his real name. That is a perfect example of something that did well for a bit. That's one of the better examples, and but it eventually went down. They seem to be doing that a lot. They want to make a splash so people get noticed. Um, it gets put on the news, and then after that flash of success, and then you have to go back to your regular fans, and you're like kind of sorry, and then you're wondering why they all dipped out. That's why. um Thanks, silhouetted animator, I appreciate it. uh I have the ability to grow hair out of my face, yes. Avatar, I'm waiting for the Avatar press comic cross TV show adaptation. Oh man, sorry, I that would have to go on like Shutter or something like that. Crossed is it is gross. It is gross. I even thought the Thor thing was lame from the start, says Mage Grey Wolf. I did too. We did podcasts about it many moons ago, many moons ago. Prior to Comicsgate and all that stuff, I had a meltdown about the whole thing. And it wasn't because I mean, if they do it, for one, they've done it before. Okay. I mean, the Earth X did it. Loki turned Thor into a girl to piss him off, and for a gag. And Thor had to live like that. It was actually Thor. So it wasn't anything new. And it was the whole all new, all different thing. And they just went about it wrong. They, instead of like easing people into it, instead of introducing new characters, which they could have done, they were extremely lazy about it. And it's exactly what Doctor Who did. It's like, we don't feel that a female character is strong enough if we make up a new one on our own. So we're just going to slap an established label on her, and then like, selling Ironheart as Iron Man for that long, and then like just destroying the character of Tony Stark, utterly destroying a character that you took so long to build up. Tony Stark was nothing. Okay. He was a character that I liked, but only the most hardcore Marvel fans liked Tony Stark until the movies came out. And all of a sudden, Tony Stark had a personality. Tony Stark was now, he had always had this, but he was popular. He was recognized. Gutted him, completely gutted him. All that work you did for shit. Gary, what about oldsters? Gary, what would oldsters be also legends you watch? Mr. Roboto, repeat that. Because I'm not quite sure, but thank you for the super chat. What about oldsters be also legends you watch? Are you doing speech text? That happens to me all the time with some of the cross stuff would be too illegal to film, said Silhouetted Animator. Yeah, I'm like, crossed is something I would not put on the shelf at my comic store. I kind of saw it as porn, but I ordered it for my customers. I did. Um, you have a real beard, Gary. Hipsters have ones like Spock on STD. Thank you. Yes. Well, and the most annoying thing about female Thor was it wasn't the fact that they again, you can do anything you want in comics as long as it's temporary. Is they sold it as this is a replacement for Thor. Thor was never worthy of the hammer. This is a better Thor. So it was that fucking trope of destroying the original character to make the new one look better. Man, where have we seen that before? Huh. I'm trying to think. Fucking everything in the last 5 years, and it still doesn't work, and they still try it.
I have a dream that one day at some convention there'll be a panel discussing featuring Gary, Rob, Tom, Random, me, and Doomcock, emceed by Chris Hardwick or Kevin Smith. That'd be awesome. Fuck yeah. I have been on panels before at very small shows, though. Very small shows. Retailer panels. Oh, speaking of which, yeah, I really got to get that going. I can't really do anything till late next month, so I'm just gonna focus on the channel. I've been alphabetizing comic books below me right here on this desk. There is 20 short boxes. I pulled out all my Teen Titans and I'm rereading them to see, like, okay, maybe I'm missing it with the show. Maybe it's just me. No, it's not. The show is nothing like the comic at all. Oh, I saw that Kronos cried. Found this Google Star Wars Episode 9 box office looks brighter after competitors change release dates. How far have the mighty fallen? Yeah, Star Wars Episode 9 will is going to do okay. It won't do like as bad as Solo did, but it won't. No, it's not going to do good. Sounds like Star Trek 4 is dead in the water now after watching the new Midnight's Edge video. Yes, Carl Urban is like the only one who's been trying to keep the flame alive. I love Carl Urban. I freaking love that guy. He gets into, he backs everything he does. He just doesn't seem like the kind of star that big times anybody. Gets into his role. He's got a good perspective on life. Love that fucking dude. He's been in Lord of the Rings. He's been in Star Trek. He's been in Dread. He's going to be in The Boys. Oh my God. The Boys. The Boys, everybody. That is going to be the shit. I really got to get Derek on the show before he gets too big. Well, I mean, he'll always come on for me, but the only real question about Sabrina is it meant to be a crossover with Riverdale season 3 or another version of the same story? I don't know. I dipped out of Riverdale too. Again, that's just not my stuff. Melissa liked Riverdale. Yes, you're right. Halam 899. The writers for the Kamala comics don't make the characters act like humans, and I'm saying this as a Pakistani. And she is Pakistani. Problem is, it's G. Willow Wilson who writes. God. You know what? Feisty knows this. There is so. I like to keep this channel positive and fun. That's why I never fully dipped into the whole Comicsgate thing or anything. It probably would have been, gotten us a lot of subs and all kinds of stuff, but it also, I'd have to talk about that stuff all the time, and I just don't want to. I am a casual observer from outside the sidelines. I do support some stuff. I want big changes in the industry, and I think the consumer movement aspect of it is a very good thing. It gets twisted a lot by the people who are currently destroying comics, but what Halam 899 said is right. There's the people writing comics right now don't write humans very well. It's very just because it's in a comic book doesn't mean it has to be cartoonish. We were way past that, but it seems like we've regressed to that. Now, Feisty is somebody who currently sells comics, knows what I'm talking about. I love Carl Urban too, she says. Yeah, he's awesome. Carl Urban for a Dread TV show. Take my money, Brent Newman. Take my money. Take it all. I would pay $10 a month just to see for that show alone. Star Wars Episode 9, I'm sorry, but the boycott will be in full force when it arrives, says Sebastian Simonson. Yep, because I am not seeing it. I am not reviewing it. I am not caring because I don't care. I guess if it's a boycott, if apathy is a boycott, then I guess I'm boycotting because I don't care. Star Wars to me is lost, and I care, and I always have. I care way more about Marvel Comics. Marvel Comics, DC Comics are the things I actually care about. I do care about Star Trek, but there's great alternatives to that right now. Like I would say, Star Trek Discovery fans, when you eventually get sick of bad storytelling, come on over to the Expanse camp. You are welcome. Everybody is welcome with the Expanse. You will love it. And I did mention that during every recap. I was like, watch the Expanse, watch the Expanse, watch the Expanse. Sorry, I'm late to the game. Hi, Stephanie Smith. How are you? I was watching one of the only reasons I even have CBS All Access, namely the soaps. Hey, that is cool. The soaps, I mean, are soaps. I do not judge anybody for soaps because I used to watch the shit out of soaps. Santa Barbara was my jam. Okay, Santa Barbara, As the World Turns. Now, this was in high school, and I was burning a lot back then. Burning a lot. I burned every day, all day. If I was awake, I was on something. I'm trying to think of how many sober days I had in the 80s. You can count them on one hand. Well, I mean, okay, no, that's in the late 80s. So we'll go from 85 to 90, maybe 7. Maybe 7. But love soap operas. CC Capwell, Santa Barbara, Castillo. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Probably not. Mr. Roboto, another super chat. Mr. Roboto, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Gary, what will be your Halloween costume? And I am going to be an infected belter. I'm going to have a proto molecule infecting me. I am going to I'm going to get some chocolate milk or something and puke it up a little bit. We're going to get some Christmas lights. I got Mrs. Nerdrotic got me a jumpsuit suit. Feisty fan was awesome enough to get me some Tycho patches, which I'm going to just put on it's a Top Gun costume. So I'm going to put it over the Top Gun. And then you can find the fake tattoos that go around the neck for the belters. Instant belta lauda. I got to get a little better with the language though. I want to get down with the language. Hopefully I can wear it. The Wednesday nooner is going to be a Halloween nooner. Hallow nooner a week from this Wednesday. The DJG show. Join us, Gary. Join Comic Gate. We have pie. The DJD show, I am biding my time. I have to apply with Diamond still. There's some things I need to do. There's good people in that fight that I like and I subscribe to. But they also have to understand that I got to be careful. I got to be careful for now. So things don't get blocked or anything. And right now I'm just a lowly little nobody that nobody's going to pay attention to. And but when there's a retailer voice in there, I think that would be important. The problem is with Comicsgate is it got fractured and lots of drama. I don't know what was behind the drama, nor do I care. But a lot of things happened. Life's too short to care about Star Wars. It certainly is, Mako. There's other things to like. I mean, it sucks what happened to it. I feel bad. But I think people are way past the anger phase with that now, and I think they're just in the acceptance phase of Star Wars. I really think that's turned. I think the 5 stages of grief have played out on the internet and on YouTube, and we are just in the Halam says the Expanse has saved my life. That is awesome. You should tell the writers that. I can't wait to see the Expanse season 4. Sailing Coconut, I cannot fucking wait. I want a trailer. I want something. I imagine we'll probably get like a little sizzle reel or something pretty soon from Amazon. They've done a couple things. They've done some like behind the scenes stuff. I just checked the Expanse blog this morning. I didn't see anything. You know, I'm not a big fan of you know, there's people I could hit up. I don't like and maybe this is my hang up that I should work on, you know. I don't like asking people for stuff. I just do not like asking people for stuff. I feel like especially like other YouTubers or people in the internet, you know, it's like you know, my one of my best buds, Derek, you know, I don't want to bug him to be on the show. You know, I think I've asked him like 3 times and I feel like I bug him, and that's like in a year. And his schedule's just been crazy. I just don't like hitting people up for stuff. I'm not comfortable with it. Other people are really busy, you know. And you know, sometimes when they're, you know, I mean, like Derek's kind of a comic star, you know, um, and I'm not. So yeah, I just don't want to. I know that when you're a comic artist and you're well known, you're pulled all different ways by different people. I've seen it happen when I was working in the industry, in the comic industry. I know a lot of creatives who are popular, and I see them getting pulled, and you know, some are nice and some are not, but I see the nice ones getting thrashed by people, and it kind of angers me. But and the thing is, like, the nice ones need to kind of have their own strong boundaries, of course, but they do. But you also, you know, shouldn't walk Earth as this jaded human being, like, I don't trust anybody. That's a horrible way to go through life. But sometimes they get the nice ones, you know, again, have so many people coming at them that it's hard to see what's coming at you, and they get pulled in different directions and spun around. And I don't want to be anybody who's involved in doing that at all with anybody. Can't get it. I mean, like there's nothing really specific. It's just what I've observed with you know, with Ben Templesmith and Derek Robertson and other creatives I know. In the future, humans have colonized the solar system. Earth and Mars are fighting for dominance. An unknown threat appears. It's very similar in looks and storytelling to BSG 2004, Mr. Roboto. It is. It's also very similar in storytelling to Game of Thrones, just in the as the overall story is concerned. And absolute heir apparent to Battlestar Galactica. They can almost live somewhat in the same universe. They're fucking great. If you like BSG, you're gonna like The Expanse. I mean, I'll say it till the end of time. It's the best show that's on TV. It's the best written sci-fi that I've seen since BSG, equal to BSG at this point. It's put in 3 amazing seasons. Every character counts. There's no bad character in The Expanse. There's no character that's annoying or sucks. Like, potentially Anna could have been that. Anna was great in season 3. Like, really, it was awesome. Everybody's fleshed out. There's no fucking Mary Sue's or any of that crap. It's just good storytelling. Personally, my dream will be to see Bob and you, along with others, as he mentioned, to do a live chat from the Star Trek Continue sets in Kingsland. That would be awesome. Stephanie Smith, that would be a freaking honor, like beyond an honor. It gives me goosebumps just saying that, but yeah, I am down with anything. Again, you know, it's not that it's bad to ask people for help or ask people to come here. That's not a bad thing either. That's actually good. You should do that once in a while. I should probably do it more, but I just worry I'm going to bug people, but I probably not. sometimes it's good to ask because some people like are polite and wait to be asked instead of asking to be on like our channel and stuff. And Mako also says The Expanse is incredibly bingeable. Yes, watch all The Expanse, says Truth Apocalypse. You will want to, yeah. Once you start watching, yeah. The first episode is perfect. It's a perfect first episode. By the end of it, you're going, I need to see episode 2. By the way, I am doing commentary, and the commentary for episode 2 will be up on Tuesday. I also, if you are a member of our Patreon for as little as $1 a day, I do nooners over there. So on the days we're not doing nooners here, I do a nooner over there. The reason I don't do nooners daily here is I don't want to burn you guys out. I definitely want to burn out my patrons though. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I just like the Wednesday nooner is doing well. The Monday one's doing well. We've been doing them for 7 months now. 7 months. 7 months. Wow. 7 months of nooners. That's consistency. No blue pills required yet. We're also doing our first like legit retro review. We're doing Venture Brothers season 1. That's going to be this Sunday or Monday. I forgot. Pretty sure it's Monday. It's Monday. So it's a week from today. Viking Bitch and Dennis and I will be doing Venture Brothers season 1. Please join us for that if you're a Venture Brothers fan. Gary, I hate asking for stuff as much as you do, but I have to do it on occasion due to the situation, which really sucks. Yeah, I mean, that's on me though. I mean, like it's totally healthy and cool to ask for stuff. And that's one of my flaws. I see it as a flaw. Because sometimes people are being polite by waiting to be asked. You know what I mean? So no, you're fine. You're fine. Sometimes it's very good to do it. Like there's people who want to, want to be on the channel, but they don't bug me. But it's on me to ask them to be on. Because and sometimes I'm clueless to that shit. So Ed Brewer says, Venture Brothers, count me in. Hell yeah. No, healthy boundaries, man. Healthy boundaries. They're tough. It's really tough to have healthy boundaries. Nobody's perfect in that field for sure. Not me. Nooners here. Sounds like someone has a sex coordinator. Ha ha ha. Well, yeah, mine just walked in the door. Mrs. Nerdrotic is here. Well, she's the life coordinator. Are you kidding me? Mr. Roboto, you have a great day. Thanks for popping in. I really appreciate it. Good to see you. Thank you for the super chats. I really appreciate it. I will catch you later. You are a great sub. Thank you. Giggity. All right, says Sebastian Simonson. If I get 10 seasons of The Expanse versus Stargate, then I'll revisit my opinion. There you go. I mean, it's okay to like Stargate more. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I don't, but I mean, that's cool. Mooners. We could have Mooners. Maybe that's what we call our evening shows, Matt Guy. Our Mooners. Most definitely. Thank you for putting up the schedule, Penn Farm Go. Yes, we have a live schedule that we put out, and we have many shows coming up this week. Truth Apocalypse says, burn us out. Nah, I don't want to burn you guys out. Hell no. Excuse me. This episode brought to you by Pete's. As usual. You guys talk amongst yourselves. Hang on. I'm looking something up real quick. And yeah. Yeah, that's a terrible idea. Oh, look, Elon Musk. Elon Musk claims 420 tweet was worth the $20 million fine. You know what? That's the kind of shit you just don't want to say out loud. I mean, you could feed a small town forever on that. During a recent panel at the Austin Film Festival, executive producer Michael Grillo teased that Tilda Swinton will reprise her role as the Ancient One in Avengers 4. Is anybody? I thought everybody was coming back for Avengers 4. I'm not really surprised by that. Alien 5, speaking with the Hollywood Reporter, Sigourney Weaver said James Cameron still thinks Neil Blomkamp's abandoned concept for the fifth Alien movie is a great idea. How is that even news? Now, Deadline's reporting that Gerald Prescott has joined the cast as a fortune teller in the and occasional horror host Madame Xanadu in Swamp Thing. That's cool. Dennis will be very happy that Timeless, the 2-hour series finale, premieres Thursday, December 20th. I'm going to let Dennis do his first solo show that day so he can talk about this show and never effing talk about it again, because he brings it up. I mean, like, he works it in the conversations so much. It's like, dude, okay. I don't know. What do you got? Should we cover the Elseworlds crossover on CW? Reverend Scumlord, Sigourney is a woman. Try not to mention her. You'll trigger the incels. People die in alien movies. Deal with it. Hicks and Newt should stay dead, and they should not have brought back Ripley for 4. No. You know what? Make another interesting character. Again, make another interesting character. Charmed. Oh boy. Oh God, Doctor. Man, there's just. Oh. Yeah, the new Orville trailer was like the best news that came out today. And I'm looking at it again. Okay, so they show some, what, the krill? Is that what they were called? That sucks that we have to wait till December 30th for that. That really does. What's up, Apple Crow? How's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. Elon is on to pot again alert. Yeah, I don't think he was ever off it. I used to work for him. I like him a lot. Just like the tone deafness of oh yeah, that $20 million, that was no thing. It's just $20 million. Like, dude, that's the part. Like, I don't care about him smoking pot. Fucking burn. I don't give a shit. Burn, buddy, on Joe Rogan. I'm all for it. We need to see more CEOs burning and acting like fucking humans and not, puking out, fucking a script that was written for him by some public relations firm. I mean, hearing somebody be a human being at that level is nice, but going, oh, that $20 million fine was nothing. It's like, bruh, don't ever say $20 million is nothing. That's the kind of shit that makes people write Eat the Rich. Okay. Just saying. He smokes like a champ. He really does. He does. Hey, I'm glad I'm sober, but I missed all the fun stuff, all the gadgets and everything. I mean, we used to get really creative with pot smoking back in the day, but like, dude, you guys got like amazing shit now, and craft beers and artisan beers and stuff. We had like Miller when I was drinking. I mean, like, it was nothing. Like, the fanciest beer I drank when I was still drinking was Foster's Golden Lager. Golden Lager. That was actually the last beer I had too. Was a Foster's Golden Lager. That's right. Yeah, he probably turned that and gets you 50 million. Yeah, he probably made money off that shit, paid that fine, got the money back. Yeah. Alien Covenant was crap, although the cast was pretty good. My favorite was Catherine Waterston, Sam Waterston's daughter, says Stephanie Smith. Alien Covenant. There was it was part you know what? Both of the newer Alien movies, like there was good movies in there. It just was poorly executed, and yeah, it's kind of a bummer. The Blumkin one looked awesome, but again, that's I don't know. I liked them mixing in the weird Anunnaki stuff, Zachariah Sitchin stuff, but it just was, fucking horribly executed. Hail the Orville and giving us the Star Trek show we wanted. Thank you, Matt Guy. Yes. Yes. And the people at CBS think that Star Trek Discovery is the show we need. That's their response. Like, we're not going to give them what they want. We got to give them what they need. Because those dumb little viewers out there who are going to give us money need to be taught lessons through Star Trek. Beer, malt liquor, homie. Oh, God. What's up, Brewer? Coming from a man named Brewer. That's right. I hear Mrs. Nerdrotic lurking out my door. She's a peach. She just sent me a message. Look at that. So Mrs. Nerdrotic would like to say that The Rookie is really good so far. Long live Nathan Fillion. She's got a thing for Nathan. Okay. She does. Oh my goodness. There we go. I just lost absolutely everything. There we go. When I was 8, I wired up my mom's kitchen with sensors, so every time she opened one, a loud beep would go off, drive her nuts. Like a beer? That's funny. Penn Farm Girl says, hail Agent Bossy Boots. That's right. That's my mom. Yeah. Bossy Boots. That's fun. Oh, Gary, busted again. Oh, I'm not busted. Nathan Fillion should guest star in the Orville. He probably will, General Brick. I think we're gonna. I stated before we're getting. Troy is going to be on Orville this year. I bet you we're going to get a Next Generation reunion on the Orville before we get one on possibly the Picard show, which is going to be nothing like it. You guys get ready for the Picard show. That is probably going to make you, shiny. You're right. There you go, Brent Newman, shiny. I think that's going to piss people off. Love Fillion, but know about his new show. I'll watch a few more episodes. Yeah, I want Fillion back in genre, not this basic network stuff. Get him out of there. He belongs with us. I know he needs a paycheck and everything, but yeah. Ozaro says to Ed Brewer, I know of bum wine that'll make you wake up and go blind. Worth a back alley knife fight after a few bottles. Yeah, it's like absent. Right? Affiliate is a nerd god. He belongs with us. He does. Have a crew of Serenity play the crew of the flagship, and then have the TNG characters play a rough and tumble pirate crew. That would be awesome. Apple Crew kind of flip the script on it. That would be great. Gary McGregor, hail Gary, hail all, hail you, Gary. How are you? Welcome to the best chat on YouTube. We're just chit and chatting today. I was talking. I brief recap. I gave a little bump to Anas Abdeen for his lawsuit against CBS All Access, CBS, and Star Trek for them allegedly stealing from his tardigrades game. Which again I will put back up here so you can see the. Oh wait, is that no? That's not it. What did I do with it? I'll say allegedly still with the tardigrades lawsuit. Here, we'll just go to Anas Abdeen's Twitter. How's that? This is show him some love. Be nice to the guy. Back. See, you don't have to go anywhere. I'm back. I might have to prematurely end it now because everybody bailed out, but I will continue with my sum up here. And like when I pull up too many windows, fucking Google Chrome sucks. There we go. Get rid of that window right there. Get rid of that window right there. Keep the chat up. Chat, I'll be right with you. Hang on there. We're going to put up Anas Abdeen's thing there. There we go. And then I got to find my goddamn chat again. Sorry about that, folks. So that's Anas Abdeen's Twitter. He is suing CBS All Access and Star Trek Discovery for some similarities in between that you can see presented here on his Twitter between the show and stuff. And I just like to remind people every couple months, there is actually no new information other than the lawsuit is still going on. Okay. So that is a good thing. I'm trying to get back to the chat. I'm stretching here, going back to the chat. And also, I also want to put out that please make sure you are still subscribed. If you like what you see, please subscribe. We have been hearing that people aren't getting their notifications. They're not getting any of that stuff. I definitely want y'all to make sure that you are still subscribed, please. It is not just happening to our channels, happening to many other channels. There, I'm in the wrong window. Sorry. Boom. There we go. I had to pop out the chat. And yeah. So please make sure that you are still subscribed. And we really appreciate all subscribers that we've gotten lately. I know we've been doing pretty well in that department. I mean, we're not absolutely blowing up, but it's nice, slow growth. And I will accept that sounds terrible. Slow growth. We like slow, firm growth here at Nerdrotic, especially during the nooner. Yeah. So sorry I blanked out there for a second there, but it looks like most of you stayed. So thanks. I really appreciate that. So you must be used to that fucking happening here. That's terrible. I am not a Russian bot, but Comrade Bernfred Axfielder is one. Putin's Axfielder is one who I haven't seen here today, but I'm sure he'll come in or pop in later. What's up, Comrade? If you're out there in the internet's world, the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkeys here too. I saw that earlier too. What the fuck's up? Notifications and resub bug at full power, losing 2, gain 5 a day. Yeah, that happens, man. You get micro losses. I think I'm always up at the end of the day, so I mean it's okay. We hit, I think we're down one. We hit 6,400 today, but I think we're back down to 6,399. And not worried about it. Not worried about it. You know what? Every time I put up Star Trek lawsuit, I lose like 3 and then gain 20. So there you go. There you go. But we are admittedly a channel built on, I would say if there's one thing we're built on, it's the Expanse. We are built on the Expanse. And that is not a bad thing. And that is not a bad thing. I much prefer that. Truth Apocalypse might be a Russian bot. You know what? We love you anyway. Unconditional love, even if you're a Russian bot. At my level, every little deletion hurts, says Captain Robert April. It's part of the game, though. Plus, the YouTube is scrubbing the hell out of people. So I think a lot of times that's not, especially if you lose like 5 at once, which used to happen to me at 1,500. We'd lose 5 at once. That was definitely YouTube scrubbing. That is not anything you did. Now, if you put out a video, like almost every time we start a live stream here, we lose somebody. Like off the bat, we lose somebody, but then we get them. And it's, I think it's just people who maybe have clicked on one of our videos and not sure that like what we do here is live. That is mainly what we do. Though I do put out reaction videos that are edited. Shit, I used to be a professional editor. Recently, I haven't been able to do it because I updated my software on my computer and all my programs are now fucking out of date. So I got to get them to date. Plus, we just like doing everything live. We like talking to you. You guys are our co-host. So it's not a format recommended for everybody. It's a format that takes a long time to build. You have to get whatever the algorithm is at YouTube, which I don't try to figure out. You have to get into the live streaming algorithm. And if you don't live stream a lot, your live streams will get buried. You also, there's a lot of things you have to do with your live streams that a lot of people, I mean, don't, but that's, you know, that's for them to figure out. But yeah, we like it. Plus, you know, yeah, there's a lot of, you see all the bells, you see all the warts and all, and hear the coughs and the andums and stuff, but I don't think people mind that much, to be honest with you. And all our stuff is really long, because I'm long-winded, obviously. We're doing it live. That's how we do it here. We do it live. We do it visceral. We cover television mainly to do a channel reset. We started reviewing television by accident. We wanted to be kind of like a channel like, Emergency Awesome or Midnight's Edge or something like that, where it's like news and informational. But the TV thing just kind of fell into our laps, and that's what we're doing now. And it's fun. It's cool. And yet we never run out of content. I don't have to sit around and wait for news to happen, which is nice. I just watch a TV show. We were going in raw with no lube. Yeah, that might be another t-shirt idea. Well, Viking Bitch had we do it long and live or something like that. Yeah. All these sexual, you know, nerdrotic is supposed to be neurotic. That's what it's supposed to be. But I guess you can look at it as erotic too. So it's got a double meaning there. These Russian bots are getting unreal, even adding and to their script. I know the advancements today are amazing. Yeah, there's no shortage of entertainment news and stupid entertainment news. I mean, you know, we're not all unicorns and rainbows here either. We're gonna shit on Star Trek, and we did plenty of shitting on Star Wars. I'm glad I'm glad I'm done with it though. I'm so tired of talking about it. But not political. We don't get political and none of that stuff. I am built on Yoda impressions, reading breaking news while GTA 5 is playing in the background. So very strange blend. PewDiePie voiced by Frank Oz doing news Philip DeFranco style. And I like that. That's finding your thing, the DJD show. It's unique. You know, that's what we tried to do is like, it was like YouTube tells you to do 10 to 15 minute videos, reaction videos. Put your own face on the thumbnail. Get to the point quickly. And that's how channels get to 80, 90, 100,000. That's great. I'm really happy where we're at. I like doing stuff long. I like being able to really break down TV shows and then get into theories. It's supposed to be like TV party where like all of us, you're all at my house, we're all hanging out, we're just watching a TV show, and then we're all talking about it afterwards. That all is, and maybe a bit of a Talking Dead thing without without the meat. Well, not as much Me Too, and Chris Gore and guests. Did I say Chris Gore? Chris Hardwick, not Chris Gore. That's the other guy from G4. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. Maybe we'll have guests down the road. We've had two in a year. Catherine Lafrere and the guy who played Bad Santa in Happy. By the way, if you've not seen the show Happy, I believe it's on Amazon Prime or Hulu. Not sure. Go watch it. It's amazing. Ding dong, Star Wars is dead. Deader than dead. Absolutely. Deader and dead. Okay, so the other thing I want to reset. I got to be careful because I got to put up one window at a time here now. Where'd it go? Sorry for the silence there. Was Twilight Zone. Here, I'll just tell you about it. Twilight Zone is being, at least some episodes are being reimagined, which I just think is sacrilege. I absolutely think it's sacrilege. There's no shortage of short stories that are bizarre. You can adapt other stories. You can find some of the original Twilight Zone writers and get some of their unadapted short stories or scripts and do that. Do not remake Nightmare at 30,000 feet, they're calling it, and not 20,000 feet. And I think that's terrible. I think it's utterly terrible, sacrilege, awful, bad, everything. And CBS is going to Star Trek Discovery the hell out of the show, unfortunately. And I hate this idea so much, I can't even tell you. But it's CBS All Access. And as Captain Robert April has pointed out, they own this shit outright, and they do not need to ask us for permission. They don't care. And that's our main thing, is they just don't care. They don't care. Right there on the right, you see a nightmarishly disturbing full trailer for director Gareth Evans' Apostle. See that on the right there? You guys got to see that. Oh God, the first trailer, Captain Marvel unleashes the power of awesomeness. Punch me in the face. You're telling me you didn't like the Twilight Zone, the movie, Stephanie Smith? I loved it. I loved it. They've already reimagined the episode once. That's my point, Stephanie. They've already reimagined the episode once to perfection. George Miller's directing was unbelievable. Jerry Goldsmith's music was freaking amazing. John Lithgow was out of this world in that episode. I freaking loved it. So we don't need to do it a third time. They've actually done it twice really good. And now they're going to bring in Adam Scott, who is not worthy of like holding Lithgow or Shatner's dirty jockstrap. Hell no. Not that they wore jockstraps or anything. I was just, CBS constant bullshit. I like that, Matt guy. No, but Stephanie Smith, no. Twilight Zone movie, good. Love it. I was against them reimagining episodes, but I got what I got. Stephanie Smith, my favorite book is The Twilight Zone Companion by Mark Zickery. Yeah, no, I fucking adore that shit. At least Apostle is getting some promo on that page, says Philip A. Demick. Yeah, that movie got no promo whatsoever, guys. That is, and ladies, it's a good movie. It's a very, very good movie. I love the fact that I'm listening to Neurotic while I'm working on step 2 questions. It's spiritual experience. Really? Oh, step 2. It's those early ones, Feisty. You got to get through those early ones. But you might be working on like a little different ones than I work on. So the other thing we were talking about was the Orville trailer came out today. And as I rewatched it, it was a little different from the first one, and it got me really excited, and it just made me want to watch it tomorrow. So I'm just going to rewatch the Orville until then. No new expel. We also got some Farscape news. Okay, the Farscape news was just the fact that Brian Henson was talking about it. Like, just the mere fact that it's talked about is a positive. So they've been trying to make a movie for a couple of years, and it looks like some saner voices have won the day, hopefully, and talked Brian Henson into making it to Farscape into a TV miniseries. That's where it belongs. Farscape does not belong in the movies. It belongs on television, especially television is a better destination now. It's been kind of a theme, something Dennis and I have repeated a lot on this channel is TV is where it's at. That's where the best storytelling is. It's harder to find sometimes because sometimes it's behind paywalls and, a lot of it is behind paywalls, and that sucks. We are not advocates at all of pirating. I mean, I'm not going to judge you for doing it, but no. I mean, it's not good. It doesn't help anything. It really hurts the shows you like. Unless it's a show you don't like, then whatever. But again, not judging. People got to do what they got to do. But there's so much good out there in television that Farscape is something that if the original creators come and get it, a lot like Ash versus Evil Dead season 1. Ash versus Evil Dead season 1 was really freaking good. Really good. It really, kept the flavor of I'd say Evil Dead 2. The second and third season, the third season not as good. Second season was pretty good. First season was amazing. And that was, Cobra Kai, something done amazing. Something like that. If you get the original creators and the original cast, and there's a big enough fan base for Farscape, I think they would do well, as long as it went to Amazon or Netflix and not Sci-fi. Oh God, no. The 90s Outer Limit reboot was far superior than the 90s Twilight Zone reboot. Mike Cedar, I would agree with you on that one. Yep. Twilight Zone gets worse as it goes on. Okay, so the 80s reboot was good. And then the 90s one, and then, the one with, the last one that came out. Forrest Whitaker. If you like something, support it. Don't steal it. Yes. Period. End of story. Need to catch up on Farscape and The Expanse. Well, at least you have some good viewing in your future, Matt Guy. Sci-fi sounds like STD. That would be a great place for it to go because it would get canceled. KSSS. Sci-fi gave us the first seasons of The Expanse. They did. Sci-fi has given us good stuff. Cordell Fenival, it has. It just doesn't follow through. It breaks our hearts. You broke my heart, Fredo. I mean, Sci-fi gave us BSG. But that was Sci-fi, not Sci-fi, the new one they have going on right now. Sci-fi was the original STD. It really was. Absolutely. Sci-fi is where sci-fi goes to die, says Mike Cedar. Yes. Oh, man. So I was also going to check and see if there's any other news today. There's the Star Trek costume thing where they talk about bringing back the classic costumes, but they're not the classic costumes, and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I don't know. There's the Orville trailer that Dennis posted. Of course, there's the Timeless finale. Of course, he was going to post that on our page. Hey, there's my dog in the background. Yeah, they want to do a Labyrinth sequel. That's lame. Legendary's doing My Hero Academia. I guess we could talk a little bit more about. I haven't seen any other news on the Torchwood thing. It was just Jack. It was just John Barrowman talking as he tends to do. But I think it's more serious this time. I think it would be great if there is some there's Torchwood stuff out there in Big Finish and stuff. If you're a fan, there's comics. But what's the other news we got to? Maybe you guys knew this. Expanse comes to Amazon Prime on 11/15. November 15th, you can watch season 3. I don't know how many of you knew that. Also, here, let's show you our website. We never show that. While we're chit-chatting, this is our website. Now, this is where everything gets backed up. Okay. If we lose an episode or anything, I'll end up putting it here. Some stuff that sometimes I do streams that I don't keep on the main channel. I put it at nerderotic.com, and you can just search your posts here. You can see last Friday's is right there, right here. Here's our schedule on the right. So we got today's nooner. 6:30, we're going to be doing the Castlevania season 2 review. Then there's a nooner on Patreon tomorrow. Then there's a nooner on this channel on Wednesday, which is Halloween. That'll be the Halloween nooner. Then there's another nooner on Patreon. Then early in the morning on Friday, we're going to be doing Titans. And then Dennis and I are going to be doing Homecoming, which is from the creator of Mr. Robot, Sam Esmail. It's got Julia Roberts in it. It's kind of a drawback, but it's supposed to be kind of weird. So we're going to check it out. It's on Amazon Prime, again, by the creator of Mr. Robot. And we're going to do the first episode of that. And then, of course, it's Friday Night Tights at 7 p.m. Another Patreon hangout Sunday morning. And then, of course, Doctor Who at 12:15 Pacific time. Then 11/4 is our retro review with Viking Bitch for the Venture Brothers Season 1. Now, stuff that's coming out here in the future, Star Trek shorts. The next one is 11/8. We are going to check out the YouTube original show with Draco Malfoy in it called Origin. It looks sci-fi. I'm going to give it a shot. We're going to be doing some Vikings retro reviews in the month of November. Then our release schedule starts, and this is where it gets nuts. So Night Flyers is December 2nd. Counterpart is December 9th. Marvel Runaways is the 21st. The Orville is the 30th. And then January gets absolutely nuts. Project Blue Book is the 8th. True Detective is the 13th. And yes, we're covering True Detective. I heard it's really, this one's going to be kind of a return of what season 1 was. Deadly Class, which is on Sci-fi, but based on a comic or a graphic novel. That's on the 16th. Star Trek Discovery on the 17th. We will be live 15 minutes after each episode airs on, it's 5:30 Pacific time when it airs, so we'll be on about 6:45. Umbrella Academy on Netflix. Great comic book written by the lead singer of My Chemical Romance. He is a much better comic book writer. The Punisher season 2, I am betting, drops in February. The Expanse will be in June of 2019. American Gods will probably be February, March, April of 2019. The Tick, we know, is February of 2019. And Game of Thrones, I heard this on very good source, that Game of Thrones returns April 2019, late April 2019. Still no word on Taboo season 2. There will be no Westworld in 2020. And apparently there will be no Doctor Who. 2019. No Doctor Who, no Westworld. And I'm starting to think more and more that Taboo is just not going to happen. I haven't heard a peep about it. Has anybody heard anything about Taboo? If you heard anything about Taboo, please contact me. My DMs are open on Twitter or on Facebook or anything like that. I want to know about Taboo. Damn it. So that is our live schedule. This is our stuff. Those are our thumbnails right there. I really love making the thumbnails. I think we found our own kind of style where we hide the review right behind the head, and I've gotten so freaking. I've done it so often. I can make one of these thumbnails in like 5 minutes now, or less, and it's a lot of fun. I like it. That's one of my favorite parts of the gig is doing the thumbnails. It's taboo to speak of Taboo. Taboo was so good. I want American Gods now, says Truth Apocalypse. I do too, because despite all the trouble I've seen with the show, the trailer looked amazing. Well, thank you, Mike Cedar. I appreciate that. He said pretty good work on the thumbnails. After season 2, Westworld kind of hopes season 3 of it doesn't happen, or they actually come up with a good story. KSS, that was unbelievable downturn. You want to talk about a sophomore slump? Woo! Westworld is dead. That is a perfect example of something. You're going to see the reaction of it in season 3. You're going to see the repercussions from Westworld's storytelling, from them deciding instead of being true to themselves and true to the characters, they allowed I'll just come out and say it, Me Too and Time's Up to infiltrate their show, completely write characters. Like none of the characters look like the characters that they started. And I thought they were going somewhere with it. I really do. I thought they were going to like flip the script on us, and no, it just turned into a science fiction cowboy show with no cowboys. And the cowboys were lackeys and idiots, and it was horrifically bad, like what happened at the end. And it's proof, like if you're going to play this mystery box stuff, your stuff can you can have a brilliant show or the worst show ever based on your last 10 minutes, and everything unraveled at the end. It just turned silly. And it sucks because I was out there, everybody telling Westworld season 1 was the best season 1 of a show I'd ever seen. It was so good. But basically the Cowboys did turn into NPCs. It's a game, Brent Newman, and they turned into NPCs. They did. It was so fucking bad what happened to that show. It was incredible. Oh man, thanks for hanging in here, man. You guys, you've been hanging in here for a long time. We've been going for what, 2 something hours? I'm thinking. We can go for a little while longer. Imagine all these great storylines converging at the end. Maeve with the samurai army would have been so badass. Yeah, instead they like led everybody to the promised land, and then we find out we're in a sim. And yeah, it was just, oh my God. Yeah, it really, it betrayed itself. It betrayed itself completely. And it was sad. It was sad. It was, I couldn't believe it was happening when I was watching it. And I almost like, at first we're like, what the hell did I just watch? And then the next day I'm like, I had slept on that, and that was not good. Exactly. It's not called Real World or Robot World or anything. It's Westworld. What I would have done is you created chaos in the park, then the company comes in and resets everything, but like Dolores. Okay, if you want it to be, Dolores is like the one who remembers everything, but then it gets way more tactical and understands. Because if you really think about it, she wants to go erase. Sorry, spoilers. She wants to go erase take on the humans, and she's just going out there half cocked, running a company with no. I mean, it's dumb. It's bring them to you in your world and don't let them on that you know. And yes, you're going to have to go through some crazy shit, and that would build tension, and that way you could stay in Westworld. But I don't know. I always heard that it was supposed to be just one season. They were supposed to just to be a one off. Now I could be wrong about that, but I remember hearing that. Like, but Westworld they've been trying to make Westworld for years and years. So it was supposed to be a movie. Blah blah blah. They went full J.J. Abrams mystery box though. They did, unfortunately. It's a sim within a sim. Boring. Yep. Don't. Ivan Campana. Okay, little recap was don't forget the Star Trek Discovery lawsuit by Anas Abdin. Twilight Zone is going to be reimagining some classic episodes, which I think is completely sacrilege, and they should not do it, especially 30 Nightmare at 30,000 feet, which is remaking Nightmare at 20,000 feet, which has already been remade well. We don't need to remake it again. Farscape, the Brian Henson has spoken about Farscape, and he's still trying to do something with it. And Orville came out with a trailer today that was magnificent. If they get 5 seasons, if they keep writing if they write season 3 like season 2, they will not get 5 seasons. The hammer's coming down on HBO, by the way, anyway. So, and another thing going against Westworld is it's coming out like every 2 years. That doesn't help it either. Anthony Hopkins was good. He's always good. Well, no, he's not always good, but he was good in this. Philip A. Demick says, I'm not being fair. I was incredible fair to Westworld. They had one bad episode. Unfortunately, it was the last one that unraveled everything. Could they fix it? Sure. They could fix it. We'll see. But if it's a sim within a sim, it's got J.J. Abrams' name on it now. But I love Jonathan Nolan. So I don't know how much involvement he had in season 2, though. I will just leave it at that. Stephanie Smith, awesome. As soon as things wrap up here, I'm going to binge watch Star Trek continue so I don't have to think about Discovery. Hell yeah. Support Star Trek Continues, support Axanar, support Anas Abdin, support all Stage 9, support all creative fan efforts that are made out of love. These are not things that should be discouraged. These are things that should be helped. And you know what? Yeah, it's on some of the people who are involved not to profit off this. Okay. So I don't know all the sort of details with that, but people making Star Trek Continues, that is so. I mean, even if they are making a few bucks, who cares? It's awesome. It's awesome. Sim within a sim. It wasn't that. Are you sure, Silver Spike? Are you sure? It's either a sim within a sim, or we're so far in the future and we've got just 2 raggedy robots running back and forth. And he's trying to work itself out so we can work out the immortal. So we have the cupcake brain that needs to run through certain things to be immortal. What they're doing is they're playing with the unreliable narrator, and they're playing with our perception, and they're probably going to do some big, flipping the script. The problem is it left so many people sour at the end of that. Hopefully they can fix it. But yeah, the chatter I hear is most people were not happy with the end of Westworld. And let's take a look at one thing. Was curious to see what the ratings dip was from season 1 to season 2, and there's always a ratings dip from season 1 to season 2, so that's not like a key indicator there. Again, I was preaching the greatness of Westworld from every mountaintop I could, and it let me down at the end. It did. It was bad storytelling. Horrifically bad storytelling. And completely different from season 1. I mean, you can still like season 2, but I mean, the one thing you will not convince me of is that it was in line with season 2, that it felt like season 2. Now there could be the argument it wasn't supposed to feel like season 2. Well, the characters need to be consistent. Okay, so the first episode did a 0.89, 0.72, and then it just dipped. It ended at a 0.56. So interest waned when it went out. Now, as it compared to season 1, let's take a look at this. I'll share it with you guys in a second. And oh yeah, that's a big difference. Okay, here we go. I'll show it to you guys. Hang on. Big difference between season 1 and 2. And this was something I was hearing from HBO's there. You're going to see SpongeBob in a second. Or no, he's gone now. All right, so these are season 1 ratings of Westworld. Here in America, our horrible rating system. So viewers in millions, let's just go on the right. Viewers in millions went up. Okay, so it started out at 1.963, and fourth episode, it had 2 million viewers. By the end, it got the last 2 episodes got over 2 million viewers. This is overnight and stuff like that. Now we're gonna go to, oh my god, what's that douchebag? Okay, then we're gonna go to season 2. Started out at 2 million viewers, and it just held at the end. 1.8 million, 1.6 million, 1.5 million, 1.5 million, 1.1 million, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.5. Now, this isn't horrifically horrible. It's not bad, but it's all down. That percentage change you see in the right is all down. And this is HBO. So, this was people had waited for it for over a year. I was excited about it. There was a lot of interest in it. Yeah, it just sucked. It sucked how it ended, but it could it recover? Yes. They could do like half the season was all in, William's head or something like that. Season 1 was an amazing achievement of TV. It was it had the best first episode I'd ever seen. And if they would have just ended, and this is what I said in the review, if they would have ended it with season 1 and never done anything again, I'd have been totally happy and leave the rest to my imagination. And we'll check out season 3. We will see if they recover or not. I mean, it remains to be seen. I like season 2, but it was hard to watch since episode 1. They tried to be like ultra smart kind of show, and that doesn't always work. Would be different if the show started like it did on season 1. Yeah, they I don't mind the chaos in the park thing was fine. The 7th episode with Aki was beautiful. Like, that was a beautiful episode by itself. That was wonderful. Loved it. It was so good. Yeah, it was just how it ended. I don't want to spoil the ending for people who didn't say it. There's a certain act that is unfucking forgivable, and they're probably going to undo it in season 3, but it's so fucked up and lame how they did it. They really undid a good character in that, and it was disappointing. I will say disappointing, but Aki was amazing. And then they sent him off. I'm like, can we have more Aki? Like, can we get a lot more Aki? And then some of the Maeve stuff was good, but she's like a freaking god now. So it's like, oh God. And there's so much like human hate. Like by the end of it, you're like, oh God, it's like, yeah, I just hope everything blows up and dies. Um, and Natasha Coulter said, I tried to watch Westworld and I either couldn't get it or I didn't like it. Maybe I need to watch it again. Mrs. Neurotic thought it was too dark. I thought it was wonderfully dark in the first. I still love season 1. I still love season 1. And like I said, the show can go back, have an amazing season 3, and we'll just go, okay, it was Herschel's farm. We'll just look at it as Herschel's farm. And that's the way it goes. I felt, you know what? I'll give you a show that's an example of that is Preacher. Didn't like most of season 2. It was just boring. Season 3 was fucking awesome. Season 3 absolutely returned to form. It was so goddamn good. Preacher like rallied and turned back into a great show in season 3. So it's possible. I've seen it done. Yeah, so Preacher, you can watch all season 1 because it's great, and then you watch the first 2 episodes and the last 2 episodes of season 2, and then watch all of season 3, and you are good. Preacher is fun. Yeah, it's been gone for a couple of months now. I miss Preacher. But we got Graham McTavish who plays the Saint of Killer. He is in Castlevania. Another show that like I will say, if Titans is just written by Akiva Goldsman, like the first couple episodes, I don't know who's writing the rest of the episodes, but whoever wrote last episode, there is a ray of hope that it can turn into a semi-decent TV show. I will freely admit that. There's a couple of good things in it. The nuclear family is great. And Robin's okay. Starfire is still a bad character. Well, she's not. She's maybe she's Blackfire, who is Starfire's sister. Who knows? Probably not. No, she's not. But there you go. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. You can watch Daredevil season 3 is good. I mean, not as good as seasons 1 and 2, but still like really fucking good. Like better than most TV shows. Like really, really fucking good. Like I said, Apostle's really good. Yeah. Haunting of Hill House season 1 is good. If you want a good Halloween ghost romp, that's pretty fun. About halfway through, wasn't sure where they're going, but I don't want to spoil the end. It rallies mostly. It's good. I would say it's solid. It's like 8 out of 10. Good. Like you'd have fun watching it, I think. Preacher didn't step out that badly in season 2. It feels undoable to get back from Westworld season 2 ending. Comparatively, no, Cordell. I mean, you're right, Cordell Fenively. Like Preacher season 2 did not go as far out as Westworld season 2 did, in my opinion. And that's why it was able to rally. I mean, like there's enjoyable moments in season 2 of Westworld, and there's enjoyable moments of season 2 and Preacher, but the ending unravels everything. in my opinion, for season 2. Season 3 of Daredevil's ending was just too what the fuck why such a May ending for an amazing season, because it was the end. Apple Crow, it was too happy of an ending, because that's the last Daredevil show you're getting on Marvel Netflix, and they needed to wrap it up. Didn't it feel final to you? Felt very final to me. What if Disney was somehow responsible for Netflix's decision to show no costume in Daredevil season 3? That is my conspiracy theory, Mike Cedar, that Marvel might have been making the conscious decision not to show any comics because they want to use the costume. They want to be the ones to have the definitive version. They don't want the Netflix versions being better, so they possibly sabotaged their own shit. That's crazy. But I've heard crazy. I've heard crazy from companies before, so it's believable. You want a good haunting? Go watch the original Robert Wise movie. Yes, The Haunting. Yes. Better Call Saul. That's a good show, but that's another show. I wasn't upset by the ending, but a lot of people were. But I see that show from a different perspective than most, because I'm seeing it as like in order. I haven't watched all of Breaking Bad, but some people were kind of mad about that. Truth Apocalypse says Preacher is one of my favorite shows and one of my favorite comics. It is one of the greatest comic series ever written. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Sorry, I'm going to take a sip of coffee here. Awesome. There we go. Oh, I meant okay. So basically, Kingpin was just giving up to protect Vanessa, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm happy we got a decent ending, but we never saw full-fledged Kingpin. We didn't see Daredevil in his costume at the end. Yeah, there was some disappointments in it. Bullseye, you're never going to see a fully realized Bullseye. Something went on behind the scenes of the Marvel Netflix show that I'd love to hear the real story of. Now, all I have is conjecture and everything, but they canceled a show. They canceled Luke Cage the day they premiered Daredevil. That's unheard of. It's counterintuitive. Anything they want to do, it makes no sense other than they were pissed. It was done out of spite, and companies do that stuff. Oh, I'm definitely going to see that, Matthew Matson, because I'm going to be doing that video, and I'm going to watch that documentary. But thanks for bringing it up. Yes, I am going to do that. Philip A. Demick says, don't forget the token great episode in the middle of Preacher Season 2. They also have a mid-season quality show that lets fans know how it could be if they wanted to pay the writers, i.e. B5 starting. Exactly. Yes, Philip A. Demick. That is true. Season 1. I've told the story a million times, so sorry if I'm repeating it again. The reason I didn't watch Breaking Bad is not that it sucked. I didn't think it sucked. I've mentioned before my past, my sordid past in my teenage years as kind of a crazy punk rock drug runner who might have cooked some crystal meth under a bridge and stuff like that. So it hit a little too close to home. And that is why I was uncomfortable watching it. It's like I lived that life, so why would I want to see a dramatized version of it? Now, not that crazy, okay? We weren't like getting in gunfights with cartels or shit like that, okay? but just the whole cooking aspect of it was around a lot of that. And like at a really young age, like a really inappropriate young age. And it's shit you don't think about until you're like, I'm 50 and I see my kid. And when you see your kids grow to an age you were at doing fucking crazy shit, you're like, what the hell? It like hits home. Okay. So I was like 16, 17, hanging around some bad dudes doing bad things. Mike Cedar says Breaking Bad is my number one show of all time at the moment. Cool, cool. What's my number one show of all time? Well, there's so many ifs, ands, and buts with that. Twilight Zone is my number one show of all time. But I would have to say, God, the show, it would have been Game of Thrones, except for the recent endings and stuff. I will have to say my number one show of all time is Battlestar Galactica. Of recent shows, Buffy, Angel. Yeah, I can't pick one. My number one favorite show of all time. Yeah, it's just Twilight Zone. It's a boring answer. Of recent stuff, I don't know. My number one current show is The Expanse. Counterparts close, though. That is a good show. And Legion. Jimmy D said 50. I thought you were like maybe 32. I just act 32, Jimmy. I am almost 50. Gun to my head, probably BSG 2004. Yeah, that's probably what I would say too. And so many people are like, I hate the ending. I love the ending, but that's me. BSG is number 2 for me, says Mike Cedar. It has good rewatchability. It does. Jesse Sequita Jr. says RIP Daredevil, one of my favorite current opening themes. Absolutely, such a good theme. And yeah, what happened to the music this season too? The Expanse, nothing compares for me, says Sayquist. I'm not going to argue with that. If the Expanse ends well, that will go down probably as my favorite all-time show. I can't see it not ending well. I just don't want it to end. Buffy for me, Angel for how it ends. Silver Spike, Angel had one of the best endings to any TV series. I mean, this side of Newhart. Okay, Newhart and MASH had the best endings of a TV series for a series that was meant to end, had an arc that finished. To me, those are the two best endings to a seat for genre. Angel clearly has the best ending. Buffy's ending was okay and it was similar, but just wasn't as good. Babylon. Okay, Babylon 5 is a show I haven't seen all the way. I've heard that is almost a perfect show. All Good Things for Star Trek. Damn good ending. Yes. Damn good ending. Feisty Fan went to San Diego Comic-Con, a Starbuck one year. Yes. Yes. Katie Sackhoff. Captain Marvel. Just saying. Brent Newman says Babylon 5. Babylon 5 is number 2, says Sayquist. That's another show that I haven't heard anybody who's seen it all the way through say Babylon 5 sucks. I have never heard that my entire life. So really props. If I had to pick a number one show, it would be the original V. Oh, awesome. Both 2 miniseries and the TV series, which Bob reviews, The Dynasty with Lizards. Dynasty with Lizards. That's great. I loved V. It was so good. A lot of folks moaned at the end of Angel, but I loved it. I did too. Moan away. Babylon 5 is fantastic, but the CGI is very dated. It was cheap and bad even for the time. That stuff doesn't bother me. Katie Sackhoff, yeah, and all this talk of her being too old to be Captain Marvel. Brie Larson is too young to play Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is a woman, 27, while technically a woman, 32 to 35. I know that's pretty much, put him out the pasture in Hollywood, but no, 32 to 35 or 35 to 45. It's all good. Manimal, best series ever. KSS, freaking Dennis would be all over you for that. He would be so in agreement. Dennis loves Starbucks is a badass and not a Mary Sue. And you know what? She's also, what was great about Starbucks is she looked like she worked out. She looked like she was in the military. Okay. She had the military body type for that. It was completely believable. Not like I just got out of the mall and I put on a costume for the superhero movie I'm in. And I'm going to go beat up like 300-pound Russian men. Yeah, no. Starbuck. Fucking Starbuck. We love Starbuck. Oh yeah, and I had a like ultra crazy. She was in my 5 for a little while. We'll talk about the 5 the other day. Apple Crow's always brilliant. Okay, you've redeemed yourself. I knew you were brilliant. Apple Crow's always brilliant. I mean, Apple Crow's like, wrong sometimes, but that's okay. We're all wrong sometimes. Babylon 5 proves that bad effects with great storytellers will always beat great effects with no storytelling. Absolutely. 100%. That's why it doesn't bother me in Farscape. Farscape is such phenomenal storytelling. It's right up there with freaking Buffy and Angel for that time. It's actually a lost art these days. It's kind of what I was bitching about with Doctor Who. Doctor Who yesterday, my biggest gripe was they were so fucking apologetic about the spiders, it got stupid. Like once, okay, fine. But it practically turned into a PETA. And this is no whatever PETA, but like they kept on saying there's a point in the episode where the doctor and a character in the background both say the same fucking thing, which you never hear. It's proof of shitty writing. They both say that the spiders are acting out of character. Spiders don't do this. They repeat it 3 times throughout the episode to let us know that the BBC is not representing spiders as evil because they are just animals in the wild. They can't help what they do. Forgetting the fact that 3 people were killed in this episode and there was no sympathy shown to it. Maybe a little bit for the first one. The second 2, none at all. But when a spider died, we got the doctor apologizing for it and sad music and 6 people like being sad. I could not believe it. So yeah, bad writing. That's what we're getting now. And it's like, we need to really find our way back to, we're just writing fun stories. We can be sexy and fun a little while. Sure. Be a little political and controversial once in a while. That's great. Whatever, blows your skirt up or whatever, but do it keeping your character consistent. That's all we ask. It's not the politics, it's how they're presented. They don't want Punkar's kids going out there afterwards and killing them, do they? Yeah. Do you think that's what they think? I think that's what they think. Silver Spike. They think that, oh my God, we just sent a bunch of kids out to step on spiders because of Doctor Who. Wow. Must be weird over there right now. Well, it's okay. I mean, like, thanks to Article 13, they won't have me. I won't be able to kick around Doctor Who anymore over there anyway. Yeah, I don't even know if my website's viewable over there because I didn't click on there's a cookies thing I have to click on that allows some independent agency in the EU to go through my analytics on my website. And I said no. So I'm sure someday my website will not be viewable over there. And that's too bad. My other favorite show is the 4400. It had some pretty good stories. And I got a giggle out of Ira Stephen Bear showing up in the series finales. This Stephanie Smith. I have not seen the 4400. I kept on hearing that Manifest, which is a show I was watching just because Robert Zemeckis' name was involved, was a lot like it. So between 2003 and 2013, I was reading comics all the time, so I had very little time for television. I think I can count on one hand how much television I watched in that time. It was Doctor Who, Torchwood, Game of Thrones, and Battlestar Galactica. That was pretty much all I was watching. I think the superhero stuff, I think Arrow, Flash started towards the end of my comic shop run. Tom Finger said it's science fiction. It's not supposed to be real. You're right. Exactly. Won't kids destroy trash cans after Dalek episodes? By that logic, they might. I don't know. I hope people don't really think that. It was weird. It was like, why are we apologizing for spiders multiple times? Like once, fine. And maybe it was just my hang up. It was just really bad. The Cape recently subscribed, watching from the UK. We love the UK. I know sometimes it sounds like I don't, but really I do. I want to live over there. I love it over there. I love London. I love everything about your country. I do. Good music. I could even stomach your food. It's fine. I even get happy when I go to Heathrow Airport. It makes me happy. I get like goosebumps when I go there because it means I'm about to go to London. So it's cool. Tell that to all the dead sharks after Jaws. Did a lot of sharks get killed after Jaws? Well, there's still sharks getting killed. It's dumb. It's dumb. For one, Jaws was a worldwide success, and this was just a pedestrian Doctor Who episode. And it's also 2018 and not 1975 anymore. Corda, I've been there. I've been there a lot. I dig the weather. It's funny is I actually the couple times I've been there is during your oh my God, I'll call it a Native American summer now because it's actually called Indian summer here. Okay. Or it used to be. And it's like we have it here in San Francisco too. So we don't have a legit summer. But we have towards the end of October, September, we have like a really warm period. And I went to London in September, and luckily I accidentally packed a pair of shorts, and it was hot. It was freaking hot in London. I couldn't believe it. It was like 80 something degrees. Couldn't believe it. I was all prepared to be cold, and just like here in San Francisco, and no, it was hot. I remember I was jogging through right past Marble Arch with my shorts on and a Captain America shirt. Yeah, that was me. Indigenous People Summer. Thank you. What is this? You end up talking about Doctor Who? LOL. Yeah. Well, I've got a lot of time to fill everything. Cool. It's geez, I've been going since 9:45. So yeah, it's just it's a I have no idea where the conversation goes. It just goes where it goes, man. Goes where it goes. And I'm gonna open up this real quick. Hope thanks everybody for 70 plus people for almost 3 hours. That's phenomenal on a Monday. Thank you for choosing us. We appreciate it. I really love talking to you guys. It's like one of my favorite things to do. You're a great fucking crowd. You're great co-hosts. And now we're gonna see. I'm gonna keep talking, but this is my Patreon video. You can see I got to add some people. So the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey. Oh my God, I got some other new ones. Actually, I should look up real quick. But that's one of our new. We got another one yesterday, and I'm forgetting your name. I'm sorry. I'll get you on the video soon. It was 20 to 25 degrees Celsius last week in Amsterdam. Nuts. This is Natasha Coulter. It is it's always like here in San Francisco, it's always 55 to 60 degrees and kind of cold. But if you go inland like 5 miles, it gets hot. Except in the winter. It's always kind of just murky and cold around here. Now, where I'm from, it's always kind of sunny and nice. I'm from San Diego, so. Ed Brewer says, Das Vidanya. I mean, goodbye. I'm not a Russian bot. I don't know if that's goodbye or not. Is the Castlevania review still on tonight, Mako? Yes, it is. I plan on binging on season 2 now. It is at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Tonight, Dennis and I will be reviewing Castlevania season 2. Please watch it. Please join us. It's amazing. Truth Apocalypse, me. I'm a Patreon person. So Truth Apocalypse, thank you. The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, thank you. Thank you so much. What you're seeing here is a representation of the stuff you get. This is the $5 level. Was the comics, and the $15 level is like a what's in the box. You get toys and stuff. And we really love you guys. You also get a bunch of new content now. So you're getting the Expanse commentaries. Next one is tomorrow. And you're getting Nooners and Discord and Hangout and all that stuff. Natasha Coulter says, my brother lives in FSF. I must visit. Yes, we can do a meetup. I'd love to do a meetup. I'll be doing a lot more traveling here soon when I'm going to doing Comic-Cons and stuff. And I will be able to do meetups if I'm in your town. I plan to hitting a con in the UK next year. Of course, we're going to San Diego Comic-Con, but I'm going to go. What I want to do is go to a bunch of little cons around the country. So I'm sorry for insisting, but I feel compelled to remind you to give Dan Stevens Underrated the guest movie I watched. Cordell Fenival, it is okay. You can keep reminding me over and over again. Hey, the fact that you guys are excited to bring me stuff, don't ever feel bad. Bug the shit out of me, please. It's you're not bugging me. You guys are I am grateful that you're here in the chat and giving me your time. So repeat yourself. Feel free to do anything. It's cool. Really is cool with me. I'm just grateful you're here, and I have so much fun doing this, and you guys make this possible. So not to get too mushy there, but that's why. So don't ever feel bad. Don't ever need to apologize for everything. Don't need to apologize for disagreeing. We're having fun conversation. Nothing is taken personally. I don't get butthurt. I don't. Maybe if you guys bail on me, but that's probably going to happen someday, and that's okay. That's okay. Das Vidanya actually is goodbye. Oh, is it? Okay. I didn't know, Stephanie. I just know that's the one I've heard. Believe it or not, most of the little Russian I know is from various movies I watch. Yes. Well, I learned half my vocabulary from comic books, which probably explains a lot to you guys. I won't quit you, Mike Cedar. Just, yeah. I won't. If you come to the UK, will you go to the West Country? Says Brent Newman. Yes, I tend, when I go to the UK, we go all around. We don't just hang out in London. We check it all out. When we do the Europe thing, we go for a couple weeks, 3 weeks. We don't just we're not in and out. So the Halloween, the Hallow Nooner is this Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. Please check it out. Our next show, of course, is Castlevania at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. I do believe there's some super chatters I got to thank. Let's get over there. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves. It is very important for me to do two things before I leave, and that's thank everybody in the chat and thank the super chats. Again, you guys take the time to come here. It's the least I can do. Live control room. Man, this is really going slow today. Something's up. Stupid Mac. I downloaded that goddamn Mojave. Okay. So we got Silhouetted Animator for a $2 super chat, Mr. Roboto for a $2 super chat, and Mr. Roboto for a $2 super chat. They are not required, but they are appreciated. I try to read all your chat anyway, but it definitely does go towards our subscriptions and keeping the lights on around here. So it is appreciated. Truth Apocalypse. Andre Merrick, you're not going to leave us. Oh, you're our nerd dad. I got to leave us for now. I got to save some voice for tonight. Eurotrip, says Mako. Yes. Kato Roan, would you like to get together with Cecil to come talk about comic books? He likes the idea. Kato Roan, yes. I really gotta hit up my my comic people more. I need to ask. It's up to me. I can't expect. If Cecil is open to it, I am totally down. I am a quiet fan of Cecil and a subscriber. But yes, I'm totally down. Are you going to go to London first? Yes, Silver Spike. We will fly in the end. And Slurmy Scott, you're awesome. Everything cool. Brent Newman, Truth Apocalypse, Edward Brewer, Saquist, Cordell Fenival, Mike Cedar, Penn Farm Girl. Thank you for the wrench. Stephanie Smith. It's so nice to have you here. You're like so nice. Silver Spike, you're nice too. You're awesome. Apple Crow, Jesse Sequita Jr., Edward Brewer, Techaman Blade. Anybody? I said Kato Rowan, right? KSSS or KISS. Natasha Coulter, Everything Cool. Apple Crow. Asaro, Feisty Fan, Matthew Matson, Matt Guy, Philip A. Demick. Going up some more. And I know there was more people in here. Bear with me. Oh, I saw one. Nope, I didn't. Jimmy Dean. Awesome sausage, dude. I'm sure it's the first time you heard that. Milwinius Cryono Alfrem from York. That is good to see you. Doug 34. And that as far as up. Oh, Felipe Diaz. Thank you. Again, thank you for the patrons. Thank you for the super. Oh, we got to. Oh, I think you stuck one in there. Mark C, thank you. Are those superpowers figures you have on the right of your screen? Mark C, thank you for the super chat. For the $5. It's really appreciated. The ones, okay, so on my left, right here. Yes, these are superpower figures. And I actually have a case. I have the case for these. Now, that's not Superman's cape. That's actually Thor's cape, who's above him, but it fits better on Superman. I'm missing my OG Batman, and my Penguin is actually glued together and broken. So that's why he's on the wall. I need to get a better one, but I have the vinyl case. I love that the 80s era with the Secret Wars action figures and the Superpowers action figures from the 80s and 90s and the early 90s Toy Biz figures are absolutely my favorite. I know they're the most simple, but there's just something like cool about them that I love that you can see that I have in the background. And I'm also a big Mego fan. I've been a Mego collector pretty much all my life. The newest one is honestly the new ones from Target. I wish they were better. I wish I could report that they were better, but the Frankenstein right there is awesome. That's pretty good. And like, of course, the Star Trek Mego figures. And I'll do another room tour someday. And maybe I'll, I finally pulled out and dusted off. I'm going to do this for my patrons. I wouldn't punish you guys with some bass playing, but because actually listening to just a bass is pretty boring. But I have a wah pedal, so I can mix it up a little bit, play some Sabbath, little NIB. Yes. So thank you all. And Mary Ashmead, I didn't think Mary Ashmead, the lady of the wrench. Mary Ashmead, thank you so much. We know that you've been going through a lot, and I hope you feel better. And take care of your boy and your husband. We're all thinking about you. I want to also thank for all you guys for shouting us out and sharing us stuff on Twitter for us. Doomcock for shouting us out all the time. He's like really one of the best buds a YouTuber could have. So shout out to Doomcock. He's doing a horror show on Wednesday Wednesday night at 3 p.m. Central Time. So please check that out. Definitely Hail Mary. And everybody have a great day. And we'll see you in a couple hours. Okay. So go out and watch Castlevania. Even if you don't watch it's a video later, so you can watch the recap later. I cannot recommend it enough. Yes, it's a cartoon, but it's written by Warren Ellis, one of the greatest comic book writers of all time. And it has some of the best dialogue. It's really deep storytelling. It is not just a freaking cartoon. Okay. It is straight up adult nerd viewing. So, and it's also a fantastic comic book if you want to check it out beyond that. So, and also please, and Rolo Cat, what's up? Always try to shop at your local comic book store, even for books and graphic novels. You'll find that your comic book shop proprietor, they're mostly nice people. And yeah, we need to keep them around. The world is a better place with comic shops, folks. It is. I plan to be opening my own soon. Castlevania is on Netflix. Thank you, Mako. So Castlevania is on Netflix. But yes, I'm opening my own store soon. It will be a pop-up location here in San Francisco. You guys will be the first to know everything about it. It will have an app. It will have online shopping, all that good stuff. And everything will be priced fair. I just say that we price stuff fair. So there you go. You guys are beautiful nerds. Love you all. Have a great day, and thanks again, Mark C, for the super chat, and also Mr. Roboto and Silhouetted Animator, and everybody. May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Ciao.